Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with Thomas Rudolph, Casey Lavin, Andrew Henderson, Dale Hummel, Garrett Dworshak, and more. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to Game 2 of the three-game West Coast League Series between the Corvallis Knights and the Yakima Valley Pippins on just a glorious evening for baseball. We had a low AQI. It was a Candida kind of day. You know Candida, where the air is fresh and clean. There's a little bit of haze, but it's a glorious day. And we're expecting a good ball game here tonight on Oregon State night, Cricket Country night, Central Willamette Credit Union Reading Club night, the Corvallis Youth Symphony night, Knocking Point Wine Wednesday night. And the Knights will be playing baseball. We got a lot going on. Last night, the Knights saw their winning streak end at 12 in West Coast League play and 13 overall, and kind of a bizarro ball game. The Knights losing in 12, 5-4 after 13 straight wins. It was Mason Lee who will be in the lineup. We'll get to those later. Mason said to me, we get right back on the horse tonight and start winning again. It was a bracing sort of defeat. A lot of things went wrong, but one of the things that went very well, a strong outing from Merritt Jones, who went 4 innings, allowed 1 run, but it was unearned. I had the first opportunity this summer to visit with a big right-hander out of the University of Utah. He's from Idaho Falls, just completed his freshman year competing for a great man and coach in Gary Henderson. We'll meet Merritt Jones and get his story ahead of Game 2 on the Corvallis Knights and Yakima Valley Pippins Game 2 and Oregon State night with Benny Beaver here. Great to have you with us. It's Merritt Jones up next after a 2-minute break on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on Oregon State night at the ballpark. The Knights, who had won 13 straight, suffered a tough loss last night. Will try to get back on their usual track tonight in Game 2. Joining on the pre-show, certainly was responsible for coming to an end. In fact, pitched very well. Merritt Jones joins me. No earned runs, Merritt, and I thought you threw it well and looked good. Before we get into kind of your backstory and how you ended up Utah, I ended up here. Please, let's start with you. What did you feel about you threw last night?
I felt good background. I didn't know about that missed from most side. So just got it. I just working all good. Like I was executing my pitches, and just it was a good night.
You had a good year at Utah, and Gary Henderson will talk about that a little bit. Expects a lot of you, asks a lot of you, and you had a very good spring. Tell me what your hope was coming here building off the spring season you had, what your goals have been here with the Knights?
This year with the Knights, I've been really working on developing my secondary pitches, just making them more consistent so I can use them in games with confidence. Building my confidence and sustained concentration through outings is something I've really been trying to get good at. And
how's that process going?
It's been going well. I've been able to be consistent and just do my job every time I get on the mound here. And I just hope to carry that to the fall and the spring.
Let's talk a little bit about your presence in Salt Lake City for Gary. Coach Henderson's been a friend for a long time. I've known him since 1999 and have admired him, respected him. Tell me your thoughts about making the decision to go compete for him and what Coach Henderson's role was in that, what he means to you.
Well, first of all, I met him. He was in his office, and he just walked me through his thoughts of pitching, told me the process, and he was the way he conducted his meeting was very professional, and it gave me a clear understanding that he was legit, knew what he was doing, and if I wanted to really grow to my full potential, be the best I could be, he was the one I needed to go and work with, and I'm really glad I was able to go.
What are the qualities? You know, you talk about being very organized and made a great presentation to you in that first meeting, but as you then got to the hill for the Utes and competed, what are some of the qualities that he possesses as a coach that continue to help you to be the best you can be?
He's got an incredible amount of experience. He's been in the game of baseball longer than I've been alive, and he's seen so much. He's able to just apply some other player, some other thing was in pretty much the same position I was in, and just give me, through his knowledge, just help me, guide me in the right direction, get through my failings, and just keep moving forward.
That all resonates with me, I well believe, you know, and his track record and all the things he's done along the way, including here at Oregon State, including helping to recruit guys that won national championships here. So he knows what he's doing. How did the opportunity with the Corvallis Knights come about? Was that his recommendation? I mean, how did you end up here?
Oh, I remember we were in the indoor because we had snow for about half the year in Utah, and I asked Mike Brown where I was going for summer ball. He says, we're going to have you going to Corvallis, go work with those coaches and guys. It would be really good. So then I got to talk to some of my teammates who'd been to Corvallis last year. It's Cam Day, Brady Millett, and Jaden Harris. And they told me all the great things, that they had such a good experience. They got so much better. They ran a lot with Uni. They warned me I was going to run a lot with Uni, but I've really enjoyed it. It's made me much better at baseball. It's better shape as well.
Tell me about that running with Uni. I had Kellen Siegel on in this segment yesterday. He kind of laughed when he said, I'm in the best shape of my life, or I've never run this much, but it's helping me. Can you feel that it is helping you, and how so?
At first, I wasn't sure. It definitely took my body a little bit of adjusting. I know after the first 2 weeks, my hip flexors felt like they're going to give out. I didn't think it was been good. But after that third and fourth week, my body had adjusted. I was able to get my running in, get my blood moving, go and get my lifts in, and my body just felt great, and I've been able to sustain it. My arm doesn't really get sore after I throw. I do all this arm stuff and running stuff. My body's just in great shape is all I can say. It just keeps moving, pushed through the adversity. He also talks about running is also a mental training as well. It makes you mentally tough, so I've really enjoyed it.
Good. Merritt Jones, my guest. I know those are the types of things, Merritt, you can take back with you, even if Yoon himself is not standing over you, making you do all these things. Are there some things that you will kind of own yourself and carry with you in fall ball back in Salt Lake City?
Oh, for sure. I haven't really had a consolidated recovery thing from pitching. Usually I just kind of take it easy. I'll do some motions. But post-game and throwing, I'll definitely carry over what Uni's been doing with me. He gave me a band. He gave all the pitchers a band. So I'll do that. Running, I'm going to try and keep doing running and explosive exercises. That's really good. It's really helped me be faster and more athletic. All those little things he does, I think it's good to keep. Just do it every day. Little things matter, and they just keep building you up.
Merritt Jones with me a little bit longer ahead of Game 2, the Knights in Yakima Valley coming up. Coming out of Idaho Falls, how your family ended up there, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe you can tell us the story, but you come from Utes in several generations, grandparents, parents, but they ended up in Idaho. You work your way back to Utah. How deep is that connection with your family with Utah?
Well, growing up, I always went over to my grandparents' house, which is in Sandy, which is really close to Salt Lake City. And of course, my dad grew up there, and we'd also visit my other grandparents' house, which was in Salt Lake City. So we always traveled up to Salt Lake, and I didn't even realize they had gone to Utah until, I guess, I kind of committed to Utah. Then they told me, yeah, that's where we went to college. And I was like,
Right.
probably should have known that beforehand, but it's been kind of cool to see how my family history has been through Utah, and just keep it consistent, keep going. I have a brother going to Utah as well for dental school. So
excellent. Merritt, the one thing too I noticed in reading a story about you online that in high school you carried a 4.20 GPA. That ain't bad. That's pretty good. What have you sort of channeled yourself into academically at Utah?
I feel like it wasn't too big of a jump as I thought it was going to be. There's less consistent classes, but you have a lot more work to do on your own. And I spent a lot of my time getting my homework done, so I felt like with all my free time, I was able to get my work done and stay ahead. And it was able to give me a lot of success in college academics.
Do you have a major yet?
Yes, I'm doing kinesiology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to use it for 4 years. I'll go get my master's in biomedical engineering.
And baseball, you may be pitching for a long time too. That's certainly, it looks like that's a long-term option for you as well. Merritt, thank you for the time. I've enjoyed watching you pitch. I like your mechanics and your style a lot, and look forward to seeing you here down the stretch with the team. Hope you've had a good experience up here, and thanks for the time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Merritt Jones, my guest. The starting lineup's just around the corner. The Knights in Yakima Valley, Game 2. The Knights trying to get this series even on a beautiful night for baseball in the Mid-Valley. Thanks for joining us. It's the Knights and the Pippins on Oregon State night. Go Beavs, and may the Pac-12 hold together. The Pac-9 now. Let that be perhaps as Vin Scully once said about Roy Campanella in the Coliseum, let it be a prayer on every heart. He was talking about Campy. I'm now talking about the salvaging of the Pac-9. We have a baseball game, thank heaven, though, to get to next. The Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. The last part of a beautifully done rendition of our Star Spangled Banner by the Corvallis Youth Symphony on this pleasant night at the ballpark. A great way to get things started. The Corvallis Youth Symphony, 23 members strong tonight, drawing from the whole Mid-Valley area under the direction of Jason Duckles. And I single out one young man who I got to know just ever so briefly. His mother, Ivy, working in the press box tonight. Ivy Snyder, Jules Snyder, the young man, 13 years of age, played second violin during our national anthem. So, again, thanks to Jason Duckles for bringing his youngsters here. He's in his 4th year as director, and they just did an outstanding job to help get us in the right frame of mind for tonight's ball game between the Knights and Yakima Valley Pippins. And indeed, it is a game I'm grateful to have to distract me from anxiousness and taking thought for the morrow and worrying about the future of our precious Pac-12, now Pac-9 to be conference. Most likely tomorrow, Colorado will officially announce its intentions to join the Big 12 in 2024. Wow. And the question is, as the Professor Tom Lehrer sang so eloquently years ago, who's next? Well, maybe the outfit down the road, maybe the team from up the road in Seattle, and then it's over as we've known it. And see, these are the things that I can chew on and ruminate on and worry. And it really doesn't do any good. As Mark Rylance says in Bridge of Spies, would worrying help? Would it help? No. So let's just enjoy a baseball game. For Yakima Valley, leading off and playing third base, Zach Blazak. Batting second at second base, Spencer Shipman. Hitting third at first base, Jace Phelan. The cleanup hitter and catching, Blake Bolts. Batting fifth at shortstop, Josh Hankins. Tommy Eisenstadt hitting sixth, the designated hitter. Owen Egan batting seventh in left field. C.J. Collier batting eighth in center field. Maxim Fullerton hitting ninth in right field. And on the mound for Yakima Valley will be Andrick Jones, a 6'5", 210-pound right-hander from Cal State San Bernardino. The lineup for the Corvallis Knights, leading off in left field, J.C. Ing. Mason Lee batting second at third base. Sam Stem hitting third and right. Ethan Hedges, the cleanup hitter at first base. Blake Avila batting fifth, the DH. Tate Shamau hitting sixth at second base. Right-hander Sam Sturr ready to go, and his first pitch to Zach Blazak in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Tim Montoya calling balls and strikes tonight. The strike one pitch on the way from Sam, down and in, and the count 1-1. Phoenix Call batting seventh in center field. Tyler Howard hitting eighth and catching. Tai Yukamoto batting ninth at short, and Sam Sturr on the hill. Sam, under the bright evening sun, delivers a 1-1 pitch, a good one, a fastball, knee-high, outside corner. And Sam is ahead of the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Zach Blazak, who had a good ball game in the Pippins triumph last night in 12. Sam back to the plate with a 1-2 breaking ball high, ball 2, 2-2. Zach Blazak, Spencer Shipman, and Jace Phelan here in the top of the first inning in Game 2. The series concludes, and the brief homestand does, tomorrow night at 6:35. 2-2 breaking ball. That's a little bit high. That's 2 pitches in a row where Sam Sturr started to take his stroll around the mound, believing that Tim Montoya would bring Blazak up. So it's gone from 1-2 to 3-2. Sam trying to execute a pitch on the full count, and his fastball tapped foul at the plate. Sam Sturr and Tyler Howard, the Knights battery. Ethan Hedges at first, Tate Shamau at second, Tai Yukamoto at short, Mason Lee at third, J.C. Ing in left, Phoenix Call in center, Sam Stem in right. 3-2 pitch, strike 3 called. After all, on a pitch that might have been a little up and away, but even Steven, things balance themselves, so they say, and a breaking ball that might have caught the plate called a ball. This fastball may have missed is called a strike, and all is well, at least for Sam Sturr. Zach Blazak might beg to differ. Zach strikes out looking. Spencer Shipman, the batter. One out, nobody on, top of the first, just getting started. 82-degree night, gorgeous evening for baseball. First pitch to Spencer is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Shipman at 176 with a homer and 9 runs batted in. Sam Reddy, the right-hander's strike one breaking ball. Good slider in there, and he's quickly ahead, 0-2. Sam is making his 4th start and 6th appearance, 13 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned, 8 walks, 16 strikeouts, a record of 2-0. The strike two pitch, a ground ball to second, fielded by Tate Shamau. Tate throws to first. The out recorded 4-3 on Spencer Shipman as one second baseman throws out the other. 2 down, Jace Phelan, the batter. Stir at 2-0 with an ERA of 3.46. Jace Phelan, big left-handed hitter, and the leading hitter for the Yakima Valley Pippins at .314, leads them in homers and RBIs. He swings and it's a looper to the shortstop, Tai Yukamoto, who pulls it in, and the inning is over. A good inning indeed, a tone setter for Sam Sturr. He retires the Pippins in order. We go to the bottom of the first. Yakima Valley nothing. The Knights coming up on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Andrick Jones making his first start for the Yakima Valley Pippins here in the summer of 2023. 8 appearances out of the bullpen, 11 1/3 innings, 10 hits, 8 runs, 6 earned, 8 walks, 14 strikeouts for Andrick, a record of 1-1, and ERA of 4.76. Jones will face J.C. Ng, Mason Lee, and Sam Stem in the bottom of the first inning after Sam Sturr retired the side in order to open the ball game. The Knights trying to get this series even and create a rubber match in the finale tomorrow night at 6:35. Miles Gostola will be the starting pitcher for the Knights before we head over to Central Oregon this weekend. Vince Genna and Ben for 3 with the Elks. Good first pitch fastball from Andrick Jones. 0-1 the count. 6'5", 210-pound right-hander from Gilbert, Arizona, competes at Cal State San Bernardino, does Andrick. His strike one pitch, a fly ball to center. C.J. Collier is right there to make the catch. 1 away, and Mason Lee will come to the plate. Andrick Jones and Blake Bolts, the battery for Yakima Valley. Jace Phelan at first, Spencer Shipman at second, Josh Hankins at short, Zach Blazak at third. In the outfield for the Pippins, Owen Egan in left, C.J. Collier in center, Maxim Fullerton in right. Andrick to the plate. Fastball off the mid of Blake Baltz outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Mason Lee, again, who was the one who said to me, we get back on the horse tonight. Weird way to lose last night. I even suggested it was going to take an odd kind of game for the Knights to actually lose the way they've been playing, 13 straight wins coming in. And it was exactly that, just some strange goings on, interesting calls, not in the end bad ones per se. The pitch in there for a strike to Mason and the count 1-1. Fastball from Andrick down and away, ball 2, 2-1 to Mason Lee, hitting .267. No homers and 6 RBIs. The controversial interference call against Sam Stem, as I thought in real time, could have been a good call, turned out to be, even with Brooks' protestations. Ed Nags and Bo Kearns both said they thought the call was actually the right one. It was a fine line, and Knights fans were very agitated about it. The 3-1 pitch, fastball for a strike to Mason, and the count goes full to the Knights' 2-hole hitter. 3-2 the count. Bottom of the first inning, Brooke Knight coaching at third, Ed Nags at first. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. A good start for Merritt Jones in his first start with the Pippins. 2 down and nobody on, and Sam Stem to the plate. Sam had a good ball game last night. He crushed a 2-run home run in the first inning in last night's ball game. The Knights were off to a 3-0 lead and appeared to be en route to what would have been a 13th straight win in West Coast League play, but the Pippins, to their great credit, kept the Knights from separating early and came back to win the ball game. Sam Stem swings at the first pitch and grounds it into right field. Base hit. Sam blasting his 4th homer last night. He leads the team in that category. Also in runs batted in with 31, and is now aboard at first base with 9 stolen bases in 13 attempts. Ethan Hedges, the batter. Ethan at .323, the Knights' leading hitter with a homer and 28 RBIs. Fastball up, ball 1, 1-0. Ethan has a look down at Brooke Knight. Ethan Hedges of USC. A year ago, we were mourning the loss of USC and UCLA to the Big Ten. Today, we are in the same state about Colorado. Not nearly as catastrophic, Colorado leaving, but when you add it to the departures of the 2 LA schools last year and just what it means for the future of our own conference, it does not bode well, quite honestly. Fastball inside, ball 2, 2-0. Merritt Jones has a look over at Sam Stem. The 2-0 pitch is high. Ball 3, 3-0 to Ethan. Blake Avila on deck. In the 12 innings of last night's ball game, there were only 2 frames in which the Knights did not draw a walk, and yet they still ended up losing the ball game. 3-0 now to Hedges. Sam Stem at first, 2 down, no score. The 3-0 pitch catches the outside corner, and the count 3-1. Colorado going back, in a sense, to the Big 12. Its Big 8 roots, the Big 8 becoming the Big 12. That makes some sense, actually, geographically and historically. The 3-1 pitch, fastball down and away to Ethan Hedges for ball 4. So the Knights, with 2 outs, get a base hit from Stem, a walk to Hedges, and now Blake Avila to the plate trying to do some early damage. But again, we've got a baseball game tonight, a West Coast League game on this 26th of July, but it's going to take some doing to avoid cogitating overmuch on the state of affairs and what it may mean. My final note, in a sense, on that is all Jonathan Smith needs to do is win the national championship this year, render Oregon State more relevant than it's ever been, and then maybe the Big Ten and somebody else, SEC, hey, come on in. We just got to find a way to survive. No pressure on Jonathan this year. Blake Avila takes inside, ball 1, 1-0. Sam Stem at second, Ethan Hedges at first, 1-0 to Blake Avila. No score, bottom of the first. Avila, high fly to right, but he got under it a little too much, and Maxim Fullerton has a play. He has the baseball, and the side is retired. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We go to the second in game 2. Yakima Valley nothing, the Knights nothing. On the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the second inning, no score on a beautiful night at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The 50-50 raffle tonight to benefit the Corvallis Youth Symphony. I've just had the pleasure of meeting Julian Vigna and Teddy D, trumpet players, the two number 1 trumpets among 5 in the Corvallis Youth Symphony, and they are selling the 50-50 raffle tickets here in the ballpark. I hope you're able to support the great work that these young kids do. Blake Baltz taking the first 2 pitches as we go to the second inning out of the zone from Sam Sturr. 2 balls and no strikes to Blake Baltz, the left-hand hitting catcher, standing in for Yakima Valley at 239 with 8 runs batted in. Sam's 2-0 pitch, low for ball 3. Sam peered in, a bit of a pause after the delivery. I think he thought that the pitch was knee-high. Tim Montoya thought otherwise. 3 balls and no strikes to Blake Baltz. 3-0 pitch is in there for a strike, and the count 3-1. Blake Baltz, Josh Hankins, and Tommy Eisenstadt in the second for Yakima Valley. The Pippins coming in tonight with a record of 6-10 in second half play. The Knights at 13-3, 2.5 up on Ridgefield and Cowlitz, tied at 11-6. The 3-1 pitch to Blake misses for ball 4. Blake Baltz does a nice job to draw a walk to lead off the second. And that brings Josh Hankins to the plate. Hankins, the right-hand hitting shortstop, out of Boothwyn, Pennsylvania. We had, as I mentioned, athletic trainer Stephen Gall in the ballpark last night. He hails from Pennsylvania. The pitch to Hankins outside, ball 1. But just as I had not, as a Pacific Northwesterner, ever heard of Otis Orchards, Washington last night, I said, hey, the Pippins have a guy from Pennsylvania. I'm going to run the city by you. Have you ever heard of Boothwyn? And they said no. The parents, the proud grandparents in here last night, had never heard of Boothwyn. They'd lived in Pennsylvania their entire lives. But this is a young man from Boothwyn, Pennsylvania. Hankins takes low and away, ball 2, 2-0. No score, top of the second inning. Blake Baltz at first, drawing a walk, held on by Ethan Hedges. 2-0 to Josh Hankins. Sturr to the plate. A bunt attempt missed. And the count 2-1. I've never fully understood when you have the count as Hankins did at 2-0. the rationale for giving up, even thinking about bunting. If the pitcher's going to walk you, give him a chance to. But a bunt attempt missed in the count 2-1. He's bunting again. He bunts in the air, foul up along first, out of the reach of Tyler Howard. In the count even to Hankins. 2 balls and 2 strikes. No score, top of the second inning. A leadoff walk to Blake Baltz. And now 2-2 to Josh Hankins. Sam Sturr comes set. And the 2-2 pitch, a line drive, base hit into left center field. Racing over to cut it off is Phoenix Call. Baltz will stop at second. Call gets the ball back in to Tai Yukamoto. So a good thing certainly for Yakima Valley that Hankins didn't get the bunt down. And now Tommy Eisenstadt, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. And we'll see if he may be up there to bunt. No score in the second. Good-looking swing from Josh Hankins, who has scuffled a bit this summer, hitting just a .187 coming in. But a solid base hit, putting pressure on the Knights here in the second. No score, but 2 on and nobody out for Eisenstadt, who's not bunting, and takes the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 the count. Eisenstadt out of Menlo Atherton hit .270 and a couple of homers for the Zags this past spring at Gonzaga. 0-1 the count. Sam Sturr set, and the strike one pitch Eisenstadt takes low and away. 1-1 the count. Tommy's had a good summer at .286. A homer, 29 runs batted in, second in RBIs on the club. Has a chance for a 30th right here with Blake Baltz at second, Josh Hankins at first, nobody out. 1-1 to Tommy Eisenstadt. The 1-1 fastball, a little low, ball 2-1. Yakima Valley needing to put together a lot of wins to put themselves back in the hunt for a potential playoff berth in the second half. The 2-1 pitch popped into left field. J.C. Ng fighting the sun, shields it with his glove, makes the catch. Baltz tags at second, but will hold. 1 away. Owen Egan will come to the plate.
Now batting for the Pippins is left fielder number 10, Owen Egan.
Egan pitched well last night. Two-way player, and I was remiss to not ask Merritt Jones. We had an enjoyable conversation, but our pregame show guest, I needed to ask Merritt about his possible two-way status for Gary Henderson next year in Salt Lake City. First pitch from Sam Sturr, a strike to Owen. 0-1 the count. Egan at .250 in this his 11th game as a position player with a couple of runs batted in. He was the winning pitcher last night. He's appeared in 7 games and 10 innings on the hill for the Pippins. 2 on, 1 out, no score. The strike one fastball from Sam just missed. And the count 1-1. Another good crowd on this Wednesday night with the Knights and Pippins playing in Game 2, the series finale tomorrow at 6:35. Baltz from second, Hankins from first. Sturr from the stretch. The 1-1 breaking ball, a good one in there. Strike 2, 1-2 the count. Oregon State night tonight. Hank Hager, the outstanding Assistant Director of Athletic Communications, a fanciful title for his role as the baseball SID throughout a ceremonial first pitch, along with former Knight and current Beaver Tanner Smith. The 1-2 pitch to Owen Egan, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Sam Sturr has been a Beaver, may yet stay a Beaver, but Sam is in the transfer portal. One note, by the way, on a Knights pitcher who I believe has shut it down for the summer. Did a nice job. Caleb Woltz has just committed to Colorado Mesa Division II school. So we certainly wish Caleb well, coming up out of the portal in a good spot. C.J. Collier, the batter. C.J. takes a strike. 0-1 the count. 2 on, 2 out, top of the second inning. No score. Collier from Gilroy down south of San Jose. The strike one pitch, a high pop-up back of the plate. Catcher Tyler Howard throws the mask away, has a play, and drops the ball. The count goes to 0-2. That's tough. The world looking upon you as everybody just stopping. It was just one man in Tyler Howard waiting for the ball to come down. And he dropped what would have been the third out of the inning. And indeed, a shame it would be for Sam Sturr and the Knights if Collier, taking advantage of the second opportunity, gets a base hit. Baltz at second, Hankins at first. The strike two pitch. Great job by Sturr to pick up his battery mate. Off speed, swung on and missed to retire the side. After a walk and a base hit to open the inning, Sturr retires the next three Pippins, the last two by strikeout. The Pippins leave two, and at the end of 1.5, Yakima Valley nothing, the Knights nothing. On the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the second inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. A really good crowd on this Wednesday night. No score for the Knights. It'll be Tate Shamau, Phoenix Call, and Tyler Howard. Coming up against right-hander Andrick Jones. Andrick to the plate. Fastball high to Tate. Ball one, 1-0. Andrick comes back with a 1-0 pitch. That's high for ball two. 2-0 to Tate Shamau. Leading things off for the Knights here in the bottom of the second. Tate at 242 through 18 ball games. A homer, 12 runs batted in. Andrick's 2-0 pitch. That's a little bit high. Ball three. 3-0. Phoenix Call on deck. The Knights with a base hit and a walk in the first inning came up empty. The Pippins, a walk and a base hit in the second, also held scoreless. The 3-0 pitch misses outside. A 4-pitch walk to Tate Shamau to open the Knights' second. Phoenix Call playing in center field tonight, the batter. Phoenix at 208, 4 runs batted in. Phoenix has a sacrifice on the summer, and he may be asked to pick up a second one right here. Phoenix looks at Brooke Knight before stepping in against Andrick Jones. Phoenix not bunting, takes a fastball for a strike, and the count 0-1. Shamau will run. He's 4 for 7 in stolen bases. Andrick Jones with a high set position comes back to the plate to Phoenix. The 0-1 pitch misses high. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Knights with 100 stolen bases on the summer. The Yakima Valley Pippins, by comparison, 42. The running game, a huge part of what Brooke Knight has done all these years. Call swings and hooks one fair down the left field line into the corner. Owen Egan chasing the ball down. Brooke Knight waving Tate Shamau around. Shamau on his way to the plate. He will score without a play. A head first slide just to be sure. A double for Call. The Knights lead it 1-0. And Brooke Knight early in this ball game eschewing bunt and giving Phoenix Call an opportunity to hit away. Great decision. Phoenix Call doubles home Tate Shamau. And now Tyler Howard, the batter. Howard has a job to do, namely to get Phoenix over. And whether he's asked to bunt to do it, we'll see. Jace Phelan creeping in on the green from his spot at first base, thinking of that possibility. Howard does show bunt. Tyler pulls the bat back and takes outside, ball one. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the second inning. Tyler at .254, playing in his 22nd game. He has 2 sacrifices on the season. 1 ball and no strikes. Phelan certainly thinking he's feeling bunt. Instead, the 1-0 pitch hits Tyler Howard in the helmet. The home plate umpire, Tim Montoya, makes sure that Tyler's okay before sending Tyler on to first. Brooke Knight also walks down the line to inquire of Tyler Howard's status. The battery of Merritt Jones and Blake Baltz getting together to talk about something. Brooke Knight came down. Brooke summons Michaela, the athletic trainer, out of the Knights dugout. Michaela carries her tools, the tools of her craft, on a backpack. It always looks to me, though, that it looks like she's ready to take a trip through the Alps or the Andes or somewhere else with that backpack on as she trots onto the field to make sure, I think just confirm what Tyler Howard has already indicated to the umpire, to Brooke Knight himself. I'm okay, I think is his message, but concussion protocol, ever important, and Michaela may put Tyler through a couple of paces here. Ask him what his name is, what day it is, what position he plays, what sport this is, etc., and not to make light of a very serious matter that for so many years went, I think, unexplored, did not receive the attention that certainly these types of moments deserved and merited. Michaela is indeed running Tyler through some tests, pats him on the left shoulder and says, yeah, I agree with you, you're good to go. And Michaela, with a smile on her face, trots back in to the Knights dugout, having done her job and done it well. Tai Yukamoto, the batter. And speaking of doing a job well, Adley Rutschman today, a former Corvallis Knight, former Beaver, went 1 for 4 with 3 runs batted in, his 14th homer of the season. But Philadelphia beat Baltimore 6-4. Stephen Kwan 1 for 3, a former Knight, 2 RBIs. Cleveland beat Kansas City 8-3. Nick Madrigal in AAA Iowa, 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored, hitting .429 at AAA. A run in, 2 on, nobody out. Tai Yukamoto up there to bunt. Tai bunts the first pitch foul in front of his own dugout. 0-1 the count. Yukamoto looked as though he might cast himself in the role of hero last night. A pinch hit, base hit, when the Knights needed a run to win in the bottom of the 10th. Pinch hit, base hit, and then went to second on a sacrifice bunt. Tried to go to third to get himself in scoring position and was thrown out trying to go to third. That felt like, it just felt like the way the ball game was proceeding. That was the gut punch. That, ew, if that's going to happen, you may not have the walk-off magic tonight, and ultimately the Knights didn't. Yukamoto bunts foul, and he's down in the count 0-2. Jones delivers, swung on, foul tipped, and dropped. Blake Baltz not quite able to hang on to the foul tick. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes to Tai Yukamoto. Brooks Lee, who 4 summers ago was a sensation in this league, tearing it up for AA Minnesota in Wichita. 4 for 6 today for Brooks Lee. his 11th homer, 3 runs scored and 2 RBIs. 1-0 Knights here. Yukimoto swings and misses, strike 3. 1 away, and J.C. Ng, who flied to center, will be the batter. Ty got himself in trouble here with a couple of bunts foul in a hole. The bunt taken off, he wasn't able to recover and dig out of that 0-2 hole. He strikes out. J.C. Ng, the hitter. J.C. with runners at first and second and 1 out, and the Knights leading 1-0. Looking for a base hit. Trevor Larnach today went 2 for 4 with a run scored and a double in Seattle's 8-7 win over the Twins in muggy Minneapolis. Breaking ball and a good pitch from Merritt Jones, taken for a strike by Ng. 0-1 the count. Thanks to Brooks Hatch for bringing up that news today about former Knights and Beavers on Oregon State night here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 1 run across, the Knights looking to add on, and they may get an opportunity to, in that the strike 1 pitch is a wild one to the backstop. Phoenix call down to third. Tyler Howard into second. And JC with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike, looking for at least the scoring fly ball. Ng has been opportunistic with 22 runs batted in. Does not have a sacrifice fly. The infield at normal depth. The 1-1 pitch just outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Mason Lee, the on-deck hitter. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the second. Merritt Jones working out of the windup. A ground ball knocked down by Jones. Lost his glove, stays with it, flips to first, coming to the plate, and scoring is Phoenix call. Great base running. The throw to the plate from Jace Phelan gets by Blake Baltz. And into third base goes Tyler Howard. Excellent job by Phoenix call. Breaking at just the right time. Merritt Jones flipping to first to get J.C. Ng, but call breaking to the plate and scoring. Took a gamble, but with 2 outs, it's not a bad one to take in that situation. And call coming down the line to score to put the Knights up 2-0. Mason Lee, the batter. Andrick works out of the windup with Howard at third and 2 down. Swings, and it's a chopper to the third baseman, Blazak. Zach throws across to first to retire the side. Mason Lee now 0 for 2, but the Knights come up with 2 in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 2, the Knights 2 and the Yakima Valley Pippins nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Two to nothing Knights as we move to the top of the third inning. Maxim Fullerton, Zach Blazak, and Spencer Shipman, the scheduled hitters for Yakima Valley, against Knights right-hander Sam Sturr. Sam to the plate. First pitch is swung on and hit foul back of the plate and out of play. No balls and a strike to Maxim Fullerton out of Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And attends Regis, which I believe is in Denver. I want to check on that to be sure. The strike one pitch missing down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Maxim Fullerton. Sam back to the plate with a 1-1 pitch. A little bit high, ball 2. Pretty good breeze lifting the Wilson Motors banner on the batter's eye and straightaway center. 2-1 the count. Sam back to the plate and misses high for ball 3. 3-1. Indeed, Regis University, a Jesuit Catholic institution in Denver. A market the Big 12 now gains and the Pac-12 loses. We'll get that ratified tomorrow. 3-1 pitch, high and away, ball 4. But I'm not going to be preoccupied with it except for the rest of the summer. A leadoff walk to Fullerton. Sam Sturr walked Blake Bolts to lead off the second, then gave up a base hit, then retired the next 3. Fullerton aboard, the Knights leading 2-0. Zach Blazak struck out looking to open the game. The left-handed hitter stepping in against Sam. Sturr to the plate, first pitch strike, and the count 0-1. Blazak out of Montana State University in Billings. He's from Park City, Utah. Went to GP2 country, Salt Lake Community College. The strike one pitch just outside, and the count 1-1 to Blazak. And now Zach in Gil McDougald country in Billings. 2-0. The Knights leading, but some activity will begin. Back of Sturr, Max DeBeck heads down to the bullpen. Sam to the plate, and the pitch is outside, ball 2, 2-1. The Knights had an early 3-0 lead last night, and it did not hold up as the Knights saw their winning streak end at 13 games. Fullerton held on by Ethan Hedges. A good action count here if Coach Crustangel wants to do something with it. And indeed, Fullerton goes. The 2-1 pitch is popped up into shallow left. Going out on it and catching it nicely is Mason Lee over the shoulder. Having to fight the sun and the wind, and did so successfully. Mason did not appear to be in good shape going after the ball. It almost looked as though he had his palms upward as if to say, I don't see it, I don't see it. Where is it? Oh, here it is in my glove. Nice job by Mason, staying with it and able to locate it in time for the out. Spencer Shipman, the batter. Shipman grounded out to second baseman Tate Shamau in the first inning. Indeed, Fullerton was running 2-1. Sam Sturr set, Sam to the plate, swung on and missed, and the count 0-1 to Shipman. Spencer out of Newman Lake, Washington. That's also a new one on yours truly, much as Otis Orchards was last night. Newman Lake, 0-1 the count. Sturr to the plate and delivers strike 2. 0-2 to Spencer. Jace Phelan on deck. Neil Feist heads down to the bullpen. Max DeBeck just headed down there moments ago. Sturr walking the leadoff hitter for the second straight inning, but hoping to live to tell about it. No balls and 2 strikes to Shipman. Sam ready, throws to first, and a pretty good move. Ethan Hedges whirling around to try to make the tag on Fullerton. Fullerton appeared to be surprised by the move over and just did get back. No balls and 2 strikes. Sam from the stretch and comes to the plate. Off speed and high, ball 1, 1-2. Sam in the portal, in a sense, looking for a landing spot, but it could be that he ends up staying right here at Oregon State. It just depends a bit on how he's feeling, how his stuff looks here in the last couple of weeks. He's been pitching effectively. He throws to first. Back to the bag dives Fullerton. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Spencer Shipman. 2-0 Knights in the third. Stir set. Sam to the plate. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 down. The 4th strikeout for Sam Stir, and Jace Phelan will come to the plate.
Now batting for the Pippins, the first baseman number 40, Jace Phelan.
Sam out of Lower Columbia College, Madison High School, Lower Columbia, before arriving with the Corvallis Knights in 2021. Some very brief, small sample size with the Beavs, but I know he's been highly regarded. Just trying to get physically healthy, come all the way back, and make himself perhaps a factor for the Beavs next spring. But in the portal officially. The pitch to Jace Phelan, a strike, and the count 0-1. The strike 1 pitch bounces over Tyler Howard to the backstop. A wild pitch. Fullerton down to second. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Phelan, giving Jace an opportunity to cut the Knights' lead in half. And Phelan the right man for that task, with the team leading 37 runs batted in. Popped to short in his first at-bat. 1 ball and 1 strike to the left-hand hitter. Sam delivers just outside. And the count goes to 1-2. Phelan is the young man hailing from Otis Orchards, Washington. Plays at Washington State. They can't be feeling real great today either. The 2-1 pitch, pop foul off third. Mason Lee coming as far as he can. The ball carries about 4 rows deep, just below the Jack Riley concourse down the line. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the top of the third. A really good crowd tonight. Last night we had 1,500 plus. I think we're going to exceed that number tonight. Closer to 18 or 19, it would appear. Fullerton at second, 2 down, 2-0 Knights in the third. Phelan takes another pitch in the turf, and the count goes full to 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes on another precious day here in the Mid-Valley, that Candida kind of day where the air is fresh and clean. We had another one. We do not take these things for granted when you think of what's in need of repair. The 3-2 pitch swung on and fouled at the plate. The count remains 3-2. Kellen Siegel, who I really enjoyed visiting with yesterday on the pregame show. Kellen also trots down to the Corvallis Knights bullpen. 3-2 to Jace Phelan. Blake Baltz on deck. 2-0 Knights in the third. Sam Stir comes set. Glances back at Maxim Fullerton. The 3-2 breaking ball in the turf for ball 4. And that'll bring Blake Baltz to the plate. The third walk issued by Sam Stir in the second this inning. Baltz drew a free pass to lead off last inning. Sam was able to work his way through it.
Now batting for the Pippins, the catcher number 46, Blake Baltz.
Baltz striding slowly to the plate. Last night we saw Tate Shamau in the bottom of the 12th inning, a strike assessed for not getting into the box in a timely manner. I'm not sure what predicates, the starting of the clock and all of that. I really don't understand that completely yet. First pitch pounded foul by Blake Baltz off his front foot. It seemed a call that was slightly officious. And I use that in its pejorative sense. Unnecessary, given the context and the scheme of the game. And all I'm saying is Blake Baltz was taking plenty of time to get from the on-deck area to the plate. He's a catcher, so he's got to shed gear. All of that understandable. But to assess a strike in that situation in the bottom of the 12th, it just seemed utterly wrong. The strike 1 pitch to Baltz in there for strike 2. And Brooke Knight, in his office earlier today, said he was talked down by Bo Kearns and Ed Nags about the interference call against Sam Stem. Well, okay, maybe that was the right call. But he said, I was not happy. I'm still chapped, he said, about Shamau being assessed a strike in the bottom of the 12th before Tate had stepped in. 2 on, 2 out, 2-0 Knights. The strike 2 fastball just outside to Blake Bolts. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Sam stranded 2 Pippins last inning, trying to do it again here in the third and keep the Knights' 2-run lead intact. Breaking ball low, ball 2, 2-2 to Bolts. Bolts committed to UCLA. We're seeing him at the position that he's expected to play for John Savage and the Bruins program, namely catcher. A left-hand hitting catcher. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out, 2-0 Knights in the third. The 2-2 pitch, fastball a little low, ball 3, 3-2. Sturr has made a lot of pitches, and that's to the Pippins' credit. Last night they were resourceful, getting deep into counts. Bolts out of the box for a moment with a count of 3-2. The runners will go on the pitch. Fullerton from second, Jace Phelan from first with 2 down. Ethan Hedges playing deep at first. The runners go, and the 3-2 pitch is ball 4 to load them up. And that'll bring to the plate Josh Hankins. Josh singled to center field in the second. Good work by Bolts. He was down in the count 1-2. And Sam thought that he had made an out pitch on a fastball a little low. It doesn't appear as though Montoya is giving anything borderline around the knees. Some of the pitches up he has given. The pitch to Hankins. Fastball nearly hit Josh. It knocks him down. He falls to the field turf on his haunches. Gets up. He's okay. Sam Sturr trying to find the strike zone in time to avert a problematic third. 2-0 Knights with the bases loaded via walks. And 1-0 to Hankins. Sturr to the plate. Good breaking ball. Swung on and missed. Hankins tried to hold up, but certainly went around, and that evens the count at 1-1. Maxim Fullerton at third. Jace Phelan at second. Blake Bolts at first. Sam Sturr to the plate with a 1-1 breaking ball. That's high and inside. Ball 2, 2-1. Hankins a solid single last inning, now has the count his way 2-1. Hankins in a pretty good leverage position in that he knows Sam doesn't want to go 3-1 with the bases loaded, having walked them full. So Hankins could get a good pitch to hit here. The 2-1 pitch, good slider for a strike. That's a pitcher's pitch taken by Hankins to even the count at 2-2. Sam looking for the execution of another big pitch here and hoping to strand 3. The right-hander ready. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball line to center field. Base hit. 1 run is in. Phoenix Call gets on the ball and throws it back in a hurry. Coming down the line to score is Maxim Fullerton. Hankins drilling it to center field with so much exit below that only 1 run was able to score. Maxim Fullerton scoring. Jace Phelan at third, Blake Bolts into second, Hankins 2 for 2, an RBI single. Tommy Eisenstadt the batter. The Knights' lead has been halved, and that'll be the end of the line, it appears, for Sam Sturr, with Brooke Knight on his way to the mound. Eisenstadt, a left-handed hitter, due up. Now, Brooke hasn't made an indication yet, but he usually dispatches his pitching coach, Bo Kearns, for moments such as these. When he goes out, he's usually got a hook with him, and he has one with him. That's it for Sam Sturr. And the first guy to trot down to the bullpen was big Max DeBeck. He'll get the baseball now, trying to preserve the Knights' lead. And for Sam, again, it was just an issue of command of the zone. He walked 3 in the inning and eventually was going to pay a price for it, and did, on the solid single to center for Hankins. So with Max DeBeck coming in out of the pen, we'll take a 2-minute pitching change in-game break. 2-1 Knights back in 2 here in the third on 1240 Joe Radio and the Knights live stream. Max DeBeck out of the bullpen to try to close the door on the Pippins here in the third. Left open by 3 walks. Then the first hit of the inning off the bat of Josh Hankins plates a run. It's 2-1 Knights with the bases still loaded. DeBeck picks up for Sam Sturr, making his 14th appearance, 2 starts, 22 in the third innings, just 10 hits allowed, but he's had some control issues along the way. 14 walks, 22 strikeouts, a record of 1-1, an ERA of 2.82. Max to the plate and misses low. Ball 1 to Tommy Eisenstadt. With the bases loaded and 2 down. Phelan at third, Baltz at second, Hankins at first. DeBeck working out of the windup. Max to the plate with a 1-0 pitch. A ground ball right at Knights first baseman Ethan Hedges, who will run it to the bag for out number 3. Nicely done by Max DeBeck. The Pippins do get on the board, a run on 1 hit, no errors, 3 left at the end of 2.5. The Knights 2 and the Pippins 1 back in 90 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the third inning, 2-1 Knights. A big event tonight at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. It is Oregon State night. We've got some Oregon State Hoopers in the ballpark. Tyler Bilodeau leading some of the young players through the Jack Riley concourse, taking in baseball as we go to the bottom of the third. The first pitch from Merritt Jones to Sam Stem misses a little low, ball one. 2-1 Knights, bottom of the third. Merritt Jones back to the plate. Sam takes a breaking ball strike and the count 1-1. Sam Stem, Ethan Hedges, and Blake Avila in the third. The 1-1 pitch from Andrick. Taken a little bit low, ball two, 2-1. Sam a solid single to right, going after the first pitch in the first inning. A 2-run homer last night. 2 balls and a strike to Sam. Being played up the middle by the shortstop, Josh Hankins. Here's a ground ball back to the box, knocked down by Jones. Andrick stays with it and throws out Stem. 1 away. Ethan Hedges to the plate. The 50-50 raffle, I said earlier, was being conducted by members of the Corvallis Youth Symphony. It's actually the properly titled Willamette Valley Junior Symphony. It's one of those things where I asked someone, you know, who's this, these kids who, you know, they're going to be performing the anthem tonight, and was told, oh, that's the Corvallis Youth Symphony. And I went with it. Breaking ball strike, the count 0-1. They are technically the Willamette Valley Junior Symphony, and they're selling 50-50 raffle tickets in the ballpark. Ethan taking a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Merritt Jones back to the plate, and the count 1-1. Titles matter, names matter. Do they matter all that much? Well, in certain respects, yes, they do. 2-1 Knights, bottom of the third. Jones to the plate, throws one off the mid of his battery mate. Blake Baltz to the backstop. 2-1 the count. I was reading a piece of criticism earlier today by Stephen Neal, commenting on the work of Sir William Ramsay, the 19th century archaeologist and historian, taking on St. Luke. The 2-1 pitch swung on and fouled back. Now, whatever you ascribe to the author of that book, in the book of Acts, traditionally known as Luke, don't exactly know for sure who wrote it, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, the one thing that Ramsay pointed out late in the 19th century is that you have to give that writer credit. He got the titles right. The 2-2 pitch is low and away, ball 3, 3-2. Ethnarchs, politarchs, Asiarchs, all of the political figures that he mentions in that very interesting historical book, he gets right based on other study in other fields of discipline. The 3-2 pitch foul back, and the count remains 3-2. That it does not therefore follow that everything else he said that went on happened or is true per se. But the writer Ramsay's just pointing out that somebody who gets titles right and places right and names right is to be trusted on certain levels. So he would have gotten the Willamette Valley Junior Symphony as opposed to the Corvallis Youth Symphony. The 3-2 pitch, check swing, strike 3 on Ethan Hedges. Tried to stop the swing on a pitch up and in, but went around. 2 down. A little surprised that Tim Montoya rung Hedges up on his own accord without seeking recourse to help. 2 down, and Blake Avila, who flied to right field in the first, will be the hitter. 2-1 Knights, bottom of the third. Merritt Jones working the first base side of the slab. Kicks and comes to the plate. Fastball lifted foul off third. This will carry into the upper grandstand, and from there back down into the lower grandstand where a fan plays the carom well. No balls and 1 strike. Really hope that it's a nice windfall tonight for the youngsters from the Willamette Valley Junior Symphony. The politarchs, as it were. The strike 1 pitch on the way, fastball high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. And speaking of reading, really happy to see over 20 youngsters walk on the field to be recognized before the game by Central Willamette Credit Union, which sponsors the Summer Reading Club. They get rewarded for their summer readings with trips to the ballpark and other places, and they were introduced to the crowd here tonight before the ball game. The 1-1 pitch missing, and the count 2-1. And that's the reading of books. A wonderful thing. One of the best things on the planet. 2-1 Knights, bottom of the third. The 2-1 pitch, slow and way outside, ball 3 to Avila. Tate Shamau on deck. Oregon State's own Bernard Malamud, the writer of The Natural and Dubin's Lives and The Fixer and others, wrote a great short story, one of the best ever, A Summer's Reading. And the Central Willamette Credit Union kids, I hope, have read it. The 3-1 pitch to Blake Avila just misses inside. Andrick Jones peers in. Where did it miss? Tim Montoya not really forthcoming. Ball 4. Tate Shamau, the batter. Remember last week we had a homestand where the Kelowna coaches were barking from the dugout on the first base side. Come on now, that pitch was a strike, and the home plate umpire turned and said, that pitch, he explained, that pitch was a ball and a half outside. I don't think I've ever heard an umpire give such a delineated explanation than that ump did to a barking dugout. Here comes Casey Abekwe trimming down with Mikey Ratai back from competition in Germany. Good to see the Beaver Hoopsters here. The pitch missing to Shamau, ball 1, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch from Andrick misses for ball 2 to Tate. Tate drew a walk and scored last inning with 2 outs, a walk to Avila. 2-0 to Shamau. 2-1 Knights, bottom of the third. Phoenix call on deck. Andrick to the plate. Fastball for a strike. Shamau appeared to be taking all the way. The count 2-1. Blake Avila coming down the stretch of what's been a good spring and summer, heading to Grand Canyon University. The 2-1 pitch outside, ball 3, 3-1. Phoenix call on deck. Phoenix an RBI double last inning, hoping to have another RBI chance here in a moment. 3-1 to Tate Shamau. Blake Avila getting a conservative lead. The 3-1 pitch is in there, and the count goes full to 3-2. Avila will be running on the pitch. 3-2, 2 down. 2-1 Knights, bottom of the third inning. The Knights trying to start another win streak and get this series even. Avila goes, the 3-2 pitch, pop foul my way, but it's going to land between Kate and Liam. Thank heaven that it landed between Kate and Liam. Kate comes up with a ball that landed about a foot to the right of her head. And she had no idea the ball was coming in, and now she has a souvenir. She said her teenage son, before the game, was in a grumpy mood. I hope their mood was lightened by that. There goes Avila in the 3-2 pitch. A strike 3 called, and the inning is over. For the Knights in the third, no runs, no hits, a man left. We're through 3. The Knights 2 and Yakima Valley 1 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 2 runs, 2 hits, and no errors. Yakima Valley 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. With the breezes picking up considerably as we go to the 4th, Max DeBeck delivers to Owen Egan and misses low, ball 1. Egan struck out in the 2nd. Max back to the plate with a 1-0 pitch, hit foul back of the plate. This will carry over the McGrath family press box and into the entryway area to the ballpark. Many fans affording themselves of that entryway. A lot of folks queuing up with Scotty Schuler, Cricket Country, 99.9 before the game. Breaking ball from Max, down and away, ball 2. As I strolled in through that front entrance after visiting with Merritt Jones and the Knights coaches. Scott had Johnny's A Boy Named Sue playing from the speakers in the Cricket Country van. 2-1 fastball swung on and missed. 2-2 the count. I looked around as I wandered in and said, I think I'm the only one that remembers when that song was on the radio as a hit in the summer of '69. Johnny's biggest hit ever. The 2-2 fastball high and away, ball 3, 3-2. 2-1 Knights, top of the 4th inning. Max DeBeck came on last inning in relief of Sam Sturr. The 3-2 pitch, pop foul, back of the plate. Tyler Howard racing back. Howard can't quite get there into the on-deck area of the Yakima Valley Pippins. The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Johnny Cash's son, I'm told, got married in South Corvallis. I'm not exactly sure when, but people attest to its truth. And Johnny rode in a big limo down Highway 99, late 90s. 3-2 pitch misses for ball 4. On a piece of land in South Corvallis. Does anybody know that story? I've never, somebody told us that. And we didn't move here till 99, but that would have been something I would have been on, or at least have been excited to know. The great man coming to Corvallis for his son's wedding. For the 3rd straight inning, Knights pitchers have issued a leadoff walk. It's a dangerous way to live. Max DeBeck misses to C.J. Collier, high and inside, ball 1. 2-1 Knights in the 4th, Owen Egan drawing a walk. Sam Sturr got away with that in the 2nd, did not last inning when the leadoff walk ended up scoring. The 1-0 fastball, a good one. Swung on and missed, and the count 1-1. DeBeck and Tyler Howard, the Knights battery. Ethan Hedges at first, Tate Shamau at 2nd, Ty Yukamoto at short, Mason Lee at 3rd, J.C. Ing in left, Phoenix Call in center, Sam Stam in right. There goes the runner. He got a good jump. The pitch is outside, and the throw to 2nd is not in time. Owen Egan stealing that one on Max DeBeck. 2-1 the count. Egan had a big lead. He was hopping away from first base. Had Max just stepped off, he would have been able to throw over and pick Owen off. But Owen took advantage of perhaps a little bit of inattention. And now the 2-1 pitch swung on and hit foul back of the plate. Not in Urchin Alley per se. The Urchins are leaving the alley and racing on the grass. 6 or 7 of them, and the fastest kid out there has the souvenir. Survival of the fastest. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-1 Knights in the 4th. Max DeBeck to the plate. Breaking ball, a check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. The Knights will need to go make a tag on the hitter. Tyler Howard will throw down to first for the out on the strikeout wild pitch, moving to 3rd, Owen Egan. Collier went after a pitch that ends up being a wild pitch. It is a strikeout, but the tying run now 90 feet away with Maxim Fullerton coming to the plate. Maxim was the leadoff hitter that walked last inning and came in to score. Now has a chance to pull the Pippins even here in the 4th inning. From the stretch, Max delivers, swung on and cued foul in front of the Knights dugout. 0-1 the count. Adley Rutschman homering today for Baltimore, former Knight, his former teammate. I was thinking about Adley being at the plate in that 2017 season with Preston Jones scoring on a walk-off wild pitch from second base with Adley Rutschman at the plate. The strike one pitch missing high and away in the count 1-1. One of those strange plays with Preston Jones at second, and he just the timing of everything. He got a pretty good secondary lead. The pitch bounced away and rolled away, and Preston could really run and came around to score, taking pressure off the kid. That kid was around the Mendoza line that year in 17. And as Pat Casey and others said, we're not worried about Adley hitting. The 2-1 pitch lifted in the air to right center field. This should be deep enough to get Owen Egan home. Phoenix Call lines it up, fires high to the plate, and over the head of both Tyler Howard and Max DeBeck. The sacrifice fly off the bat of Fullerton pulls the Pippins even at 2. So 2 games in a row. It's a little frustrating, I'm sure, for the Knights. They had a 3-0 lead that they gave back and ended up losing last night. The 2-0 lead is gone here tonight, and it's predicated on ball 4. Zach Blazak, the batter. 3 consecutive innings wherein the Knights have walked the leadoff man, and the last 2 it's come back to bite them. A 2-2 tie. Zach Blazak has struck out and popped out. Zach takes a strike. The count 0-1. A 2-2 tie in the 4th. DeBeck strike 1 pitch misses high and away. But it is instructive, I think, to remember that even the great ones, and Adley as good as any player that's ever come through our conference, ever certainly in the history of Oregon State baseball, the National Player of the Year in 2019. Max comes back with a 2-1 pitch. That's low for ball 3, 3-1. It took him a while to make the adjustment offensively, but he worked at it. And as they said in Monty Python, it got better. He got better. The 3-1 pitch, a ground ball slowly to short. Tai Yukamoto up with it, throws over to Ethan Hedges to retire the side. However, a leadoff walk indeed hurts the Knights again. 2 innings in a row. The leadoff walk is scored, and so through 3.5. Now the Pippins 2 and the Knights 2 on the Knights live stream. And 1240 Joe Radio. A 2-2 tie as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Phoenix called Tyler Howard and Tai Yukamoto against Andrick Jones. Andrick's breaking ball slips off his fingertips and over the head of Phoenix call to the backstop. 1-0 to the Knights center fielder. Phoenix doubled home a run in the 2nd and scored the Knights' 2nd run. Andrick back to the plate, and he throws that one to the backstop the other way. A couple of wild ones to Phoenix call to fall behind. 2 balls and no strikes. A 2-2 tie, bottom of the fourth. Andrick Jones and Blake Bolts working together as the Pippins battery. The 2-0 fastball just outside. Ball 3, 3-0. Jace Phelan at first, Spencer Shipman at second, Josh Hankins at short, Zach Blazak at third with Owen Egan in left, C.J. Collier in center, Maxim Fullerton in right. Andrick's 3-0 pitch, very high and inside. He wasn't really close in any of those 4 pitches to Phoenix call. A leadoff walk. Tyler Howard, the batter, in a 2-2 tie. And Tyler is likely up there to bunt. Phoenix, an excellent athlete. 6 for 9 in stolen bases. But Tyler Howard, who was hit by a pitch in the second inning, likely up there to lay one down and try to move Phoenix up 90. Call draws a throw and gets back. A 2-2 tie, bottom of the fourth inning. This brief homestand finale is tomorrow night, 6:35. Miles Gostola against the Pippins in Game 3. The Knights hoping to render it a rubber match. Howard not bunting on the first pitch. Takes a fastball for a strike and the count 0-1. Brooke Knight coaching down at third. Phoenix Call getting his lead. Held on by Jace Phelan. The strike one pitch to Howard taken for strike 2. 0-2 the count. Speaking of Brooke, I asked him, did you send Anson Arrows from third on the fly ball to right field last night? He said, no, I didn't. I was saying, no. Anson took off as soon as he saw Fullerton catch the ball in right. Howard, a ground ball to the first baseman Phelan, who goes to Josh Hankins, covering at second for the force on Phoenix Call. Nice play by Hankins. Phelan's throw was a little bit wide. Hankins able to maintain contact with the bag and get the put out 3-6. One away. Howard aboard on the fielder's choice. Tai Yukamoto will be the batter. Tai struck out in the second inning. A 2-2 tie, bottom of the fourth. Tyler Howard held on now by Jace Phelan. The pitch to Yukamoto, a ground ball back up the middle. A diving stab by Phelan, flips to Spencer Shipman for an out. The throw to first gets by Jace Phelan. It wasn't in time anyway, and the ball goes into the dugout, which means an extra base, or did it? Yukamoto was ready to head down to second. He's told to stay at first. The ball did not go into the dugout, thus no extra base for Yukamoto. Excellent play up the middle by Hankins, getting to the ball and then able to backflip it to Spencer Shipman for the fours. Instead of first and second and one out, Yukamoto aboard on the fielder's choice, 6-4. Good play, 2 down. J.C. Ing, the batter. Yukamoto will likely be looking to run. Now he is awarded second base on the ground rule. So an error on Spencer Shipman. A throw he shouldn't have made. He had no chance to turn 2 on that. They were lucky to get 1. And now a line drive, base hit to left field. Brooke Knight is going to put a stop sign up on his runner, Tai Yukamoto, at third, with Owen Egan getting the ball back in. And Mason Lee will get a chance now to bring the Knights a run home and the lead back with runners at the corners and 2 down. Solid single to left for JC. Mason has grounded to third. He struck out 0 for 2. Brooke Knight going through signs at third. The Knights have a good combination to put a double steal on. A delayed steal, trying to draw the throw. A straight steal perhaps on the part of J.C. Ing. We'll see. We'll let Mason Lee hit away. 2-2 tie, bottom of the fourth. First and third, 2 down. Andrick Jones to the plate. Breaking ball high, ball 1, 1-0. First and third, 2 down. Tai Yukamoto, the runner at third. J.C. Ing at first. The 1-0 pitch, breaking ball high, ball 2, 2-0. Sam Stem, the on-deck hitter. A 2-2 tie in the bottom of the fourth inning. after an 82-degree, clear, sunny, gorgeous day, cooling off here at the ballpark. The Knights, though, trying to get hot right now and get the lead back. The 2-0 pitch chased and missed. A throw down to third, and back to the bag goes Tai Yukamoto. Mason Lee going after a pitch that was way out of the zone. It would have run the count to 3-0. 2-1 to Mason. Runners at first and third and 2 down. Merritt Jones out of the stretch. The 2-1 pitch, fastball for a strike, and the count 2-2. And so the chase really hurt Mason. He would have had a 3-0 count and in control. Now he's in a fight. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out, a 2-2 tie, bottom of the 4th inning. Right-hander Merritt Jones comes set. Yukamoto from third, Ng from first. The 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on and foul tipped. Blake Baltz not quite able to hang on, and that ends up getting a piece of the home plate umpire Tim Montoya. Tim's partner comes down to take a look, see how Tim is doing. This gives an opportunity for Blake Baltz and Merritt Jones to talk about the next pitch to Mason Lee. Montoya appears as though he's going to be okay. Mason listening into the conversation as the umpires encourage one another. And they get together, put a smile on each other's faces, and even that of Mason Lee's. In those moments, certainly there's a great deal of empathy. Now, if the next call is not something that Mason Lee likes, the smile can change to a scowl in a hurry. But for the moment now, everybody empathizing with Montoya, who carries on. 2 balls, 2 strikes, a 2-2 tie in the bottom of the 4th. Mason Lee awaits. Merritt to the plate, a line drive, base hit to right center field. Yukamoto scores. Racing to third base is J.C. Ng. Into second with a double goes Mason Lee, and the Knights regain the lead at 3-2. Well, it works both ways, and turnabout is fair play. We've talked about the Knights flirting with trouble with 3 straight innings, issuing a leadoff walk the last 2 innings. The Pippins have cashed that leadoff walk in for the tying runs. Phoenix Cole walked to open this 4th inning. The Knights have regained the lead at 3-2, and now Sam Stem at the plate trying to add on. Something the Knights did not do last night in these kinds of situations. They hope to change that right now. Sam Stem takes outside, ball 1, 1-0. Sam singled to right in the first, hit back to the box in the third. J.C. Ng at third, Mason Lee an RBI double at second, 3-2 Knights in the 4th. From the stretch, Jones delivers a looping fly ball to shallow right field. Fullerton has to play it on a hop. In comes Ng, Mason Lee right behind him to score. A 2-run single for Sam Stem, and the Knights lead it 5-2. That base hit, a 2-run single for the Knights' RBI leader, a function of what Sam did last night. He hit one over Maxim Fullerton's head and over the fence in right field for a homer. Fullerton thus playing deep for the left-hand hitting Stem. And while Sam didn't really stone that ball to right, he put it in a good spot in front of Fullerton for the 2-run single. Ethan Hedges, the batter. The Knights get caught at 2, but have come back to score 3. Trying to right themselves after the tough loss last night. The Beaver basketball team appears to be here together. They're in good numbers walking through the concourse. Some newcomers on the club that I don't recognize. I do see Tyler Bilodeau, and I mentioned Casey Abekwe and Mikey Ratai earlier. But there are some guys that Wayne Tinkle and his staff have recruited and signed, and they come through the portal. And I know they're basketball players because they're all kind of hanging together and have that look. The strike one pitch, fastball in there, long and lean, and walking around together through the ballpark with guys I do know that are on the team. It's good to see them here on Oregon State night at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, watching some baseball. Ethan Hedges with a count of 0-2, 5-2 Knights in the fourth. Merritt Jones to the plate. Breaking ball, check swing, no swing, and the count 1-2 to Ethan. 5-2 Knights in the bottom of the fourth inning. Out of the stretch works Merritt Jones. Fastball up, ball 2, 2-2. Jace Phelan and Sam Stem engaged in a nice conversation at first. Sam playing at Gonzaga. Jace down the road in Pullman. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 3 in here in the fourth. Breaking ball up, ball 3, 3-2. Some activity is indeed going on in the bullpen in the left field corner for the Pippins. A left-hander loosening. Ryan Cross, it appears, to be the guy throwing. Sam Stem will run on the pitch. 3-2, 2 down. Ethan Hedges takes high for ball 4. Landon Shire is the pitching coach for the Yakima Valley Pippins. He has not made a visit tonight. Whether that changes right now or not, we'll see. But Blake Avila, a left-handed hitter, the batter. There is a left-hander in Ryan Cross throwing. Ryan, by the way, spells his first name R-Y-U-N. I like to see it because it puts in mind the great Myler. And whether he's named for Jim, I don't know, but I haven't seen it very often, and there it is. Ryan Cross loosening in the pen. Blake Avila swings and hits one to left field and playable for Owen Egan. Owen makes the catch and the inning is over, but the Knights get 3. A run-scoring double for Mason Lee, a 2-run single for Sam Stem. The Knights regain the lead. We're through 4. Corvallis 5 and Yakima Valley 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the 5th inning, the Knights regaining the lead, scoring 3. Clutch hitting with 2 outs. A 2-out RBI double, a 2-run single with 2 down from Sam Stem. 5-2 Knights to the 5th. Max DeBeck hoping to change up a pattern here. The Knights pitchers have walked the leadoff hitter 3 straight frames. The first pitch from Max misses for ball 1 to Spencer Shipman. The 1-0 pitch to Spencer rolled foul up along first. 1 ball and 1 strike to Shipman with Jace Phelan on deck and Blake Bolts to follow. DeBeck back to the plate. Misses outside, ball 2, 2-1. Max working quickly, comes back with a 2-1 pitch. Outside, ball 3, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled back. It might have been ball 4. Shipman went after it. And the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Got some youngsters from Al C over here to my right tonight. A family making the trip over for their first night's game this summer. They told me between innings. The 3-2 pitch from DeBeck fouled into the concourse on the right below the Omaha room. The count remains full at 3-2. We had a great time on Sunday, goodness gracious. Slide Rock, Triangle Park. If you haven't been, treat yourself. The 3-2 pitch is ball 4. It is a pattern that the Knights need to get out of. 4 straight innings walking the leadoff man. In the last 2, the leadoff walk has come in to score. So we'll see if, while not breaking the pattern of the leadoff walk, if Max can find a way to get through this without being scored upon. Jace Phelan is popped to short and walked. 5-2 Knights in the 5th. Out of the stretch works Max DeBeck. Comes to the plate. Phelan takes high. Ball 1, 1-0. The scoreboard is operating tonight, unlike early last night it wasn't. And while the scoreboard is working tonight, it is incorrect at the moment. There's nobody out here in the 5th. It's showing 2 outs. The pitch to Phelan, belted to right, and gone. A 2-run home run for Jace Phelan. A line drive Joe Morgan type home run over the head of Sam Stem and over the fence. And it's now the Knights 5 and Yakima Valley 4. An irrepressible bunch, these Pippins. No lead has been particularly safe or lasted long in the first 2 games of the series. The Knights still lead it. But you understand now, the leadoff walk followed by the home run, it's a 1-run game. You could almost live with a solo shot. And the walk followed by a homer. Good swing by Jace Phelan. Good-looking hitter. And Phelan getting his team-leading 6th homer of the year, 39 runs batted in. A ground ball back of first off the bat of Blake Bolts, fielded by Ethan Hedges. Ethan takes it to the bag for out number 1. And with that blast off the bat of Phelan, Brooke Knight and Bo Kearns dispatch several other young men down to the bullpen in the left field corner. First pitch missing for ball 1 to Josh Hankins. Josh has had a good ball game. Came in under the Mendoza line, but is 2 for 2 tonight with a run-scoring single. The 1-0 fastball to Josh in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. 5-4 Knights in the top of the 5th inning, and it feels, I hate to say it, but a little bit like one of those nights again, just in terms of one never knows. The 1-1 pitch, the low strike just simply won't be called tonight. That's taken low for ball 2, 2-1 to Hankins. DeBeck to the plate. The 2-1 pitch is popped up on the infield. Now Max DeBeck trying to be a traffic cop, and Ethan Hedges, the experienced first baseman from the Trojans, calls everybody off and makes the play behind the mound between the rubber and second base for out number 2. Good job by Ethan to take charge. And with 2 away, Tommy Eisenstadt, the hitter. Eisenstadt is flied to left and grounded to first. DeBeck to the plate. Fastball down and in. Ball 1, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch taken just inside, and the count 1-1. 5-4 Knights. Top of the 5th inning. DeBeck back to the plate. The 1-1 pitch dropped by Tyler Howard, but Tim Montoya doesn't penalize DeBeck. He calls it a strike. The count 2-1 to Eisenstadt. Change swung on and missed. That evens the count at 2-2. The Knights leading 5-4, but the 2-run line drive home run off the bat of Phelan. An impressive swing, and the ball got out of here in a hurry. Has cut the lead to 1. 2-2 pitch just inside. DeBeck starting to walk off towards the Knights dugout on the third base side, and will need to execute another pitch. 3 straight innings, the leadoff walk has scored. The 3-2 pitch, a slicing fly ball to left. J.C. Ing is there to make the catch. The inning is over. But the Pippins, who have shown a good deal of resiliency in the series, winning last night in 12, get a 2-run home run here in the 5th to pull within a run. We go to the bottom half. The Knights 5 and the Pippins 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Tate Shamau, Phoenix Call, and Tyler Howard, the scheduled hitters. Andrick Jones has gone all the way. His team keeps giving him life. They've come back to pull within a run. Andrick delivers to Tate, who fouls one down the right field line out of the reach of Maxim Fullerton. 0-1 the count to Tate, who's walked and scored and struck out. 5-4 Knights, bottom of the 5th. Andrick back to the plate with the 0-1 fastball and a good one. Ahead of Tate, no balls and 2 strikes. The Knights and Pippins will wrap up the series tomorrow night. Then it's off to Bend. Breaking ball in the strike 2 pitch, a ground ball to short. Hankins backhands and throws to first to get Shamau. 1 away. And Phoenix Call to the plate. Phoenix has doubled home a run and walked. I'm looking forward to working with young Blake Neiman, the pride of Philomath, going to the Cronkite School at Arizona State. As our own TJ Mathewson here on 1240 Joe Radio did and graduated from, and doing a great job for us on KEJO Radio. Good breaking ball for a strike to Phoenix in the count 0-1. Blake is the live stream broadcaster for the Bend Elks, and much is in the manner that I had the pleasure of working with Knight Uretsky of the Springfield Drifters. Blake and I will be calling the games together in Bend this weekend. Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. Breaking ball misses down and in, and the count 1-1. 5-4 Knights, 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 5th inning. The 1-1 pitch, breaking ball in there, strike 2, 1-2 the count. Take a couple of tubes over too. My daughter, Elle, may be attending. We slid down with great joy at Triangle Lake Slide Rock on her birthday this past Sunday, and may get to float the Deschutes this weekend. The 1-2 pitch, missing inside, ball 2, 2-2. In fact, behind Phoenix call to the backstop. One of the great river floats ever is the Yakima River. It is a beautiful river. I think the float that most people take starts about 20-25 miles out of the city. The 2-2 pitch to Phoenix, down and away, ball 3. Had the pleasure of twice now of floating the Yakima River during night trips to the beautiful Yakima Valley. 3-2 the count. One of the underrated experiences in our existence. The 3-2 pitch, Phoenix punches it foul to the right and out of play. I'm so grateful any of those moments, just being in a tube and floating down a river. I mean, it's a good thing. And I end up being astonished by finding out people who never availed themselves of that, and they've lived in our town here all their lives, and we've taken some out and said, I've never done this before. They're 25, 26 years old. It's astonishing to me. The 3-2 pitch to Phoenix, sliced down the right field line, foul. Maxim Fullerton racing near Casey corner, can't quite get to it. Good effort by Maxim. Phoenix call still up there with a count of 3 balls and 2 strikes. I know I'm susceptible to sentimentality, and the Charlie Pride tune from the Tom Sawyer film, the Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, Only Once in Your Life, the River Song by Charlie. The 3-2 pitch pulled foul. The Sherman Brothers, who are featured prominently in that film with Tom Hanks as Disney. I can't remember the title of the film. Good movie about trying to convince the author to let Mary Poppins be adapted for the screen by Disney. Good movie. Really good. 3-2 to call. The Sherman Brothers wrote the songs, and they also wrote the River Song, an underrated tune by Charlie Pride. The 3-2 pitch, Phoenix hits a 2-hopper to the second baseman Spencer Shipman, who throws him out. 2 down, Tyler Howard, the batter. Tyler's been hit by a pitch and bounced into a fielder's choice, 3-6. 5-4 Knights, bottom of the 5th inning. 5 runs, 5 hits for the Knights. 4 runs, 3 hits for Yakima Valley. That scene in Bend, I'm sure some of you have experienced the float down the Deschutes through the city, through the Mill District and on down to Drake Park. The pitch to Tyler misses low and inside, ball 1, 1-0. Multitudes, multitudes avail themselves of that float in the Deschutes. What a summer pastime that is. The 1-0 pitch on the way, outside to Tyler, ball 2, 2-0. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the 5th. Another interesting ball game shaping up here. The Pippins prevailed in 12 last night in a 1-run affair. It's a 1-run ball game in the 5th. Tyler Howard takes the 2-0 pitch low for ball 3, 3-0. Tai Yukamoto, the on-deck hitter. Andrick kicks and comes back with a 3-0 pitch. Fastball low for ball 4. A 2-out free pass issued to Tyler Howard. Tai Yukamoto to the plate. And the pitching coach, Landon Shire, out of George Fox, a teammate, in fact, of Sean Weiss's when the two were at Fox a few years ago, comes out for a conversation with Andrick Jones. He had his left-hander Ryan Cross loosening up last inning. Ryan gets up again. There's nobody throwing at the moment, and Coach Shire, with a quick conversation with Andrick, heads back to the dugout by himself. Tai Yukamoto, who has struck out and bounced into a force play, will come to the plate. That's the 6th walk issued by Pippins pitching. They have been living dangerously. They issued 11 walks last night and won. Out of the stretch works Merritt Jones, sails the first pitch high and away, ball 1 to Yukamoto. 5-4 Knights, bottom of the 5th inning. A 2-out walk to Tyler Howard, 1-0 to tie Yukamoto. Andrick from the stretch comes to the plate. Good fastball, inner half for a strike, and the count 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, fastball in there. Good pitch again from Andrick. Strike 2, 1-2 the count. And I would be remiss in recounting river experiences in our league. The Wenatchee River with Josh Osich and Taylor Starr in the summer of '08. One of the more enjoyable days I've ever had in this league. The 1-2 pitch off speed popped up to shallow center field. C.J. Collier moving in and over a few steps to make the catch. The inning is over. For the Knights, no runs, no hits, a man left. We're through 5 in game 2 with the Knights trying to win to set up a rubber match tomorrow. It's another tight one. The Knights 5 and the Pippins 4 through 5. It looks as though we're going to see a mid-game pitching change break, and we will. So we will take a 2-minute in-game pitching change break. 5-4 Knights after 5, back in 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the 6th inning, the Knights leading the Pippins 5-4. Neil Feist is the new pitcher for the Knights, following Sam Sturr and Max DeBeck to the hill. Neil making his 15th appearance, and that's tops on the squad. 31 1/3 innings, 32 hits, 16 walks, 20 strikeouts, a record of 1-1, an ERA of 3.73. The affable right-hander completing his warm-up tosses with Tyler Howard, 6'3", 215-pounder out of Cal State Northridge. Ready to go to Owen Egan. Neal works from the stretch, comes to the plate. Egan takes low, ball 1. Owen struck out in the 2nd, led off the 4th with a walk. The Knights have walked the leadoff hitter the last 4 innings. Neil Feist's 1-0 pitch, a fly ball to right field. They won't this time, but it could be big damage anyway. The ball lands at the base of the fence in right field. Owen Egan into second base with a leadoff double. Now, ball 4 might have been better than that. Well struck by Owen Egan. It's a leadoff double, breaking the string of leadoff free passes. But Egan with a leadoff double, the tying run at second with nobody out. And again, one of those nights. One of those crazy old nights. We had one last night with Yakima Valley prevailing. The Knights letting a 3-run lead get away last night. A 3-run lead tonight in jeopardy. 5-4 in the sixth. Owen Egan, the tying run at second. Nobody out for C.J. Collier. And the first pitch to C.J. sails high and inside. Ball one. 1-0. Five, 4 Knights in the top of the sixth inning. A bunt attempt missed by Collier. So the bunt put on after the 1-0 pitch. And C.J. missing the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Collier out of Gilroy. The pitch on the way misses to CJ. And a big year this past spring at Pacific. He and Tyler Quinn, teammates. Collier hit .388 with 12 home runs. He shows bunt 2-1. Takes high, ball 3, 3-1. Maxim Fullerton on deck. Breeze is picking up and the temperature dropping on this 26th of July. Been a pretty mild summer. The 3-1 pitch taken just outside for ball 4. Brooke Knight is asking where did it miss? He's not getting an answer, at least not one that's satisfied. That didn't miss by much at all, but it is ball 4. Anything down, as I said, neither team has gotten tonight. That pitch appeared to be knee-high on the outer half, quite frankly. At least from the angle I'm at, Brooke Knight had a different angle too. The one with the best said ball 4. 2 on, nobody out. Fullerton bunts in the air, foul up along third. No balls and 1 strike. The 7th walk issued by Knights pitching tonight. 6 walks have been delivered by Pippins pitching. So we have not had a great exhibition of the command of the zone by either team. A bunt attempt foul by Maxim Fullerton back of the plate. Back-to-back fouls on the bunt attempts. And Maxim behind the count 0-2. 5-4 Knights, top of the 6th. Owen Egan, the tying run at second. C.J. Collier, the go-ahead run at first. 0-2 to Maxim Fullerton. The strike 2 changeup from Bice, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Great job by Neal. Pulling the string on the 0-2 offering. Fullerton gets just 1 hack at it after fouling off the 2 bunt attempts. And down he goes. Really nice to see Mikey Ratai and see Casey Abekwe here together tonight at the ball game. Last time I saw them out and about was at Oppenheimer this past Friday night. They were in the same showing as our family in the tremendous biopic by Christopher Nolan, A Fascinating Life of J. Robert Oppenheimer. The pitch to Blazak, a strike, and the count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed. And the count 0-2 to Zach Blazak, who has struck out, popped out, and grounded to short. A double and a walk to begin the inning. Neil Feist striking out Fullerton, now ahead of Blazak 0-2. 5-4 Knights in the 6th. The strike 2 pitch in the turf. And the count goes to 1-2. It was a phenomenon to see so many young people out. Oppenheimer, in a sense, piggybacking on the momentum of that other movie, Barbenheimer Weekend, as you doubtless read about. A comebacker, Neil Feist fields and throws to first to take care of Zach Blazak. 2 down on the play, Egan to third, Collier to second, Spencer Shipman the batter. 5-4 Knights, but the Pippins a base hit away from taking the lead. And it was really good to see so many young people taking in that amazing, fascinating, life-changing story of Oppenheimer this past weekend. And hope that it continues to do well at the box office. Nolan presenting it in such a way that it's one of those films you keep thinking about, and the questions and the issues involved stay with you, as well they should. Shipman takes a strike, the count 0-1. The 0-1 slider from Feist, that's in there for strike 2. 0-2 the count with 2 down. Neal a strike away from getting through the trouble. Owen Egan at third, C.J. Collier at second. 5-4 Knights in the sixth. 0-2 to Shipman. Neal ready, delivers, swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the inning is over. Tyler Howard pumping his fist towards his battery mate. Great work by Feist. After the double and walk and runners at second and third, he retires 3 straight, and the Knights preserve the lead. We go to the bottom of the sixth. It's still the Knights 5 and the Pippins 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Another felicitous choice by Scotty Schuler on this Cricket Country 99.9 Cricket Country night at the ballpark. With Johnny Cash and A Boy Named Sue on the way in now. The 6th inning song. Scotty DJing here. Cues up Amarillo by Morning. I'm a fan of the really old country stuff. Cash in 69 and before that. But Amarillo by Morning I considered one of those modern day songs, even though it's old too. But for me, that's modern day, and I like it. Good choice. Big crowd enjoying that choice by Scott. Cricket Country 99.9 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Knights leading Yakima Valley 5-4. J.C. Ing against the new pitcher for the Pippins. J.C. takes a strike and the count 0-1. 5-4 Knights, bottom of the 6th. And the next pitch is in there for a strike from Ryan Cross. The count 0-2. Again, Ryan, R-Y-U-N. Strike 2 pitch to J.C. outside. J.C., the Knights' leadoff hitter, leading things off here in the 6th. Mason Lee on deck. Sam Stem to follow, a 1-run Knights lead. Ryan delivers, strike 3 called. Good pitch by Ryan Cross to strike out Ing. J.C. with an RBI, a run scored. Now 1 for 4 on the night, and Mason Lee the batter. Mason has struck out, grounded to third, and had a 2-out run-scoring double in the 4th. He bunts in the air, foul back of the plate. This will land against the netting, but not bunted high enough for Blake Baltz to come back and have a play on. 0-1 to Mason Lee. R-Y-U-N. You have known, I have known, we've all known many a Ryan. I've not seen that spelling before for the first name. Strike one, breaking ball from Ryan Cross in there in the count 0-2. And my only question would be, with no other information other than the name on the roster, I'm going to have to look him up. He's off to a good start. The strike two pitch to Mason swung on and missed, strike three. Is that just simply a affectation of sorts, a variation on the name, give him something unique like a Michael Thompson, M-Y-C-H-A-L, which Michael changed. He was given the conventional M-I-C-H-A-E-L, but Michael wanted to stand out, so he had his name legally changed to M-Y-C-H-A-L. Sam Stem, the batter, first pitch, strike from Ryan, R-Y-U-N Cross, 0-1 the count. And I'm checking to see what Cross's experience has been, and this may be, no, it's his fourth appearance. He comes to the plate and misses. He's worked 11 innings, 9 hits, 9 earned, 7 walks, 13 strikeouts in 11 innings. 0-1 with an ERA of 7.36, but he's retired the first 2 nights here in the bottom of the 6th inning, 5-4 nights. The 1-1 pitch to Stem is popped up into shallow left, going out as the third baseman Zach Blazak to haul it in. So Ryan Cross, is he given that name because his dad was a fan of Jim Ryan and running? Or is there some other reason? But you think of Jim Ryan, you think of the mile record. At least I do, and I hope you do too. We go to the 7th. The Knights go in order. At the end of 6, the Knights 5 and the Pippins 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 5 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Yakima Valley 4 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. Neil Feist to work here in the top of the 7th inning. In the first pitch, missing to Jace Phelan, who rocked a 2-run home run in his last at-bat. The 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled at the plate. 1-1 the count. Jace Phelan, Blake Balls, and Josh Hankins in the 7th. A 1-run lead for the Knights. Good ball game on a pleasant Wednesday night. The series finale tomorrow at 6:35. Miles Gostola for the Knights. The 1-1 pitch from Neal misses outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Phelan, a 2-run line drive home run in the 5th, has also walked and popped out. The 2-1 pitch to the left-handed hitter in there for a strike, and the count 2-2. Feist is hoping to do something that has only been accomplished once. That was by Sam Sturr to open the game, namely get the leadoff hitter out. The 2-2 pitch is outside, ball 3, 3-2. That is partly explanatory of the nip and tuck nature of the ball game. Pippins have been getting people on at the start of every frame. The 3-2 pitch, and they do again. Stroke to center field, base hit. 6 consecutive innings with the visiting Pippins getting their leadoff man on. Tough way to live The Knights still have the lead at 5-4 with Blake Balls coming to the plate. Blake has been up twice with walks in the second and third inning, then grounded out in the fifth. He has a look down at third base to see whether a bunt might be on. 5-4 Knights in the seventh. It isn't, and Baltz pops one up into shallow center field. Phoenix Call is right there to make the catch, one away. Josh Hankins, who's had a good ball game, will come to the plate. Josh singled to center in the second, singled homer run in the third. Popped out in his last at-bat. Neil Feist and Tyler Howard, the Knights battery. If you're wondering about Tyler Quinn, a fastball strike from Neil, 0-1 to Hankins. Tyler pinch hit last night, but he's dealing with a little bit of a sore left hand, being rested for precautionary reasons. He is available, Brooke told me, as a pinch hitter tonight. Strike one breaking ball from Neil is low, and the count 1-1. So around the infield tonight, Ethan Hedges at first, Tate Shamau at second, Tai Yukamoto at short, Mason Lee at third, with J.C. Ing in left, Phoenix in center, and Sam Stem in right. Fastball punched foul into Urchin Alley. No, it didn't quite make it to the alley. It went off a light tower to the right and stayed in the upper grandstand. I don't think I've seen anything go into Urchin Alley proper tonight. That's a first this late in the game. We're in the seventh, 5-4 Knights. The 1-2 pitch hit off the end of the bat slowly to Tai Yukamoto. Tai throws to first, his only play for out number 2. On the play, Phelan, the tying run, advances to second, and Tommy Eisenstadt will be the hitter. Couple of members of the Yakima Valley Pippins bullpen sprinting across the field. With the bullpens move beyond the left field fence, you get that from time to time now, where it's got a spring training kind of feel to it, with ball players on the field during the action between pitches. Good hustle by whoever those bullpen guys were to get from the pen to the dugout quickly. Eisenstadt takes inside from Neil Feist. 5-4 Knights, 2 outs, top of the seventh. Phelan the tying run at second. The 1-0 pitch is high. Ball 2, 2-0. The Knights have only had one inning tonight where they haven't walked a batter. That was Sam Sturr retiring the Pippins in order in the first. There's been at least one walk in every inning since, and we're close to another here. The 2-0 pitch to Eisenstadt misses for ball 3, 3-0. Owen Egan on deck. The 3-0 pitch high and away for ball 4. Interesting in that the Knights have pitched very well with discipline, commanding the zone. The last 2 nights that has not been the case. And again, as I said, it's a dangerous way to live. The 8th walk of the night, yet the Knights lead at 5-4. Neil Feist goes to work on Owen Egan and misses high, ball 1. 2 on, 2 out, top of the 7th. An inordinate number of free passes from both of these teams in the first 2 games of the series. This late in the season, that's a bit surprising. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed, and the count 1-1. Jace Phelan at second, Tommy Eisenstadt at first, 2 down. Neil Feist did wondrous work to get out of a jam last inning. Comes to the plate and misses outside, ball 2, 2-1. The Pippins winning last night in 12 innings and have been on the comeback trail all evening tonight and closing in. 5-4, top of the 7th. 2 on and 2 out. Feist with a 2-1 pitch. Fastball, a fly ball to right field and shallow. Racing in is Sam Stem. He gets there to make the catch, and the inning is over. The Pippins leave 2 more. It's been a tough night for Yakima Valley in that regard. They've left 9 through 7. This big crowd on a Wednesday night rising to their feet for the 7th inning stretch. It remains the Corvallis Knights 5 and the Pippins 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Knights leading 5-4. Ryan Cross to the plate. Fastball high. Ball 1 to Ethan Hedges. Cross retired the Knights in order in the 6th inning. The pitch to Hedges, a soft liner at third, caught by Zach Blazak. So Cross has retired all 4 batters that he's encountered. Trying to find out a little bit more about Ryan Cross. I've got him from, there's no information on the roster card submitted, but I've got him from Gonzaga Prep, Spokane Falls Community College. And I believe at Long Island University. Is that a fact? If I've got the right guy, that's a long way from Spokane and Gonzaga. He delivers a breaking ball strike. 0-1 the count. I'm trying to get to the more page on the LIU stats and roster and see if I can bring them up. The strike one pitch to Blake Avila with the Knights leading 5-4. Misses just outside and the count 1-1. But so far, Ryan Cross has looked solid. 4 up and 4 down, 5-4 Knights, bottom of the 7th. The 1-1 pitch. Avila swings and fouls it at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Yep, there he is. Ryan Cross, 6'2", 200-pounder on the Long Island University baseball roster. Out of Spokane to Long Island. Hope that is a nice experience for him. Back west for summer ball. The 1-2 pitch, Avila swings and hits it foul to the left and out of play. 1-2 to Blake Avila. Tate Shamau on deck. The Knights with 2 in the 2nd. Yakima Valley a run in the 3rd. The Pippins pulled even with a run in the 4th. The Knights then scored 3 in the bottom of the 4th to take a 5-2 lead. Jace Phelan, though, a line drive 2-run homer to cut the Knights' lead to 1. And that's where we are now, bottom of the 7th, 5-4. 1-2 to Blake Avila. Ryan Cross kicks and delivers outside. Ball 2, 2-2. Tate Shamau on deck. Ryan back to the left-hand hitting Avila. Swung on and missed for strike 3. 2 down. 5 straight retired by Ryan Cross. Tate Shamau to the plate. Tate walked and scored in the 2nd, has since struck out and grounded to short. Cross's numbers coming in as I laid them out. His performance tonight has belied them. His first pitch is a strike. to Tate Shamau, an ERA of 7.36. But the Knights haven't had a good swing on him yet. 5 up and 5 down, 2 outs, nobody on. The strike one fastball a little bit low. 1-1 the count. Cross and Blake Baltz the battery for the Pippins. Jace Phelan at first, Spencer Shipman at second, Josh Hankins at short, Zach Blazak at third. The 1-1 pitch fouled by Tate Shamau in front of his own dugout. In the outfield, Owen Egan in left, C.J. Collier in center, and Maxim Fullerton in right. 1-2 to Tate Shamau. Left-hander Ryan Cross looking for his second straight perfect inning. Comes to the plate, punched into shallow right field. It'll drop for a base hit. Good job by Tate Shamau. A 2-out single to right field. And Phoenix Call will come to the plate. And the Knights, with 2 outs and a runner of Shamau's ability aboard, will certainly be looking to try to put some pressure on the Pippin. Tate is 4 for 7 in stolen bases. Phoenix Call, an RBI double in the second, has since walked and grounded to second. Ryan Cross out of the stretch, comes to Phoenix, fastball for a strike. The count 0-1. Ryan comes set. The 6'2 left-hander from Spokane with the 0-1 pitch. That's strike 2 to Phoenix Call. 0-2 the count. Phoenix has driven in a run. He scored a run. Now trying to battle with 2 strikes with the Knights leading 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ryan ready, delivers. Fastball high and away. 1-2 the count. Those early formative years for yours truly and for any of us growing up in the mid to late 60s, Jim Ryan's name was one of those magical ones, holding the world record in the mile for quite a while. The 1-2 pitch with Shamau going is high. The throw to second base in time, and the inning is over. And Brooke Knight can't believe the call. Spencer Shipman receiving the throw. Shamau doesn't like it either. Shamau now 4 for 8 on the season in stolen bases, thrown out 2-4. Before 1,977, 1977. The mnemonic device there would be Yankees Dodgers. My friend Bobby Wilson tells me there is a documentary or something on now about the 77-78 Yankees Dodgers World Series, and I'd like to see it. I watched every game as it happened back then live. I hope they did a nice job with the show if any of you have seen it. So the Knights are gone. No runs, a hit, a man left. And at the end of 7, the Knights 5 and the Pippins 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the 8th inning, 5-4 Knights. Neil Feist and the Knights 6 outs away, but they feel like they're going to be a tough 6 to garner in trying to get this series even. The first pitch from Neil is in there for a strike to the Pippin C.J. Collier. The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed. And Neal quickly ahead of C.J. 0-2. C.J. Collier, Maxim Fullerton, and Zach Blazak, top of the 8th inning. 5-4 Corvallis. Neal from the stretch. The strike 2 pitch hit off the end of the bat slowly to short. Charged by Yukamoto. The throw to first just in time. Close play. Bang bang play. One away. And the batter will be Maxim Fullerton. Yukamoto doesn't have the cannon that Phoenix Call possesses, but a very slick fielding, accurate throwing, just a good fielder. And he got just enough on it to get Collier. Now Maxim Fullerton, the batter. Fullerton fouls the first pitch back. 0-1 the count. Fullerton drew a walk and scored in the 3rd, a sacrifice fly in the 4th, struck out in the 5th. Neal's strike 1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. 5-4 Knights in the top of the 8th inning. Some activity going on in the Knights bullpen. We can't see whom, but we know somebody's down there. The strike 2 pitch on the way from Feist, pulled on the field turf right at the first baseman, Ethan Hedges. Ethan steps on the bag for out number 2, and Zach Blazak will come to the plate. Zach has struck out, popped to third, grounded to short, and hit back to the box. Neal Feist trying to do something that Sam Sturr accomplished in the 1st, namely retire the Pippins in order. It hasn't happened in any other inning. Neal delivers. The first pitch misses outside, ball 1, 1-0. Neal comes set. And the 1-0 pitch, that's high and away for ball 2, 2-0. The Knights have walked at least one batter in every inning, save the first. Feist trying to put an end to that pattern here in the 8th. 2 outs, nobody on, 5-4 Knights here in the top of the 8th inning. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1. 1,977 on this OSU Cricket Country Willamette Valley Junior Symphony, and Central Willamette Credit Union Reading Club night. The 2-1 pitch is in there for strike 2. Did we get it all? Probably not. But a good crowd, all here for different reasons and enjoying a good ball game. 5-4 Knights in the 8th. 2-2 to Zach Blazak. Feist's change-up hit sharply into center field. Base hit. Not in the cards, is it? It's tough. These Pippins are tough. It's difficult for me to fully comprehend when you see certain clubs, you only see them periodically, to know that the Knights, who are 30-13 in league play, 2.5 game lead in the South Division here in second half action, are dealing with the Yakima Valley Club at 6-10 in the second half, but they don't look it. First pitch from Neal Feist to Spencer Shipman, a strike, and the count 0-1. Tying run at first with 2 down in the top of the 8th inning. Shipman is grounded to second, struck out, walked and scored, and struck out again. The strike 1 pitch popped up into shallow right center field. A long run for Phoenix Call, and too long. It's in for a base hit. Phoenix gets the ball back in, a bloop single to right center field, and now the tying run 90 feet away. So with 2 outs and nobody on, life seemed good, free and easy. And now runners at the corners and 2 down. And that's what baseball's all about. And Jace Phelan, the batter. Phelan blasted a 2-run home run in the 5th inning to draw the Pippins to within a run. He has 41 RBIs on the year. Pitching coach Bo Kearns asking for time and is on his way out to the mound. Dealing with the top left-hand hitting Phelan with another left-handed hitter in Blake Baltz on deck. Bo, a slow stroll to the hill with runners at first and third and 2 down in the top of the 8th inning. 5-4 nights, 1,977. And a lot of young people in here. That is so good to see. The youngsters are clapping their hands and stomping their feet to We Will Rock You. I'm told, speaking of films, that Bohemian Rhapsody is good. Is that true? I hear it's very good. And I'm also here to say, in speaking, I mean, that's a biopic of sorts, right? Freddie Mercury, Queen, but Oppenheimer has played to mixed reviews only because everybody I talk to, it's too long. It's too long. They tried to do too much, too many stories. There's some truth in that, but it's well worth the 3 hours that you sit through, I assure you. Jace Phelan, the batter. The first pitch to Jace is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Neil Feist trying to get through another troublesome inning. This one kind of coming late in the frame after 2 quick outs. Now 2 on and 2 out. Phelan fouls one to the left and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to Jace. The Pippins have left runners 2 on in the 6th, 2 on in the 7th. They have 2 on here in the 8th. Vice trying to strand 2 more, but the tough Jace Phelan at the plate. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The tying run at third, the go-ahead run at first. The strike 2 pitch, a ground ball foul, up along first, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 6:35 tomorrow night in this brief homestand finale. United Way night. Kalapua Brewing Thirsty Thursday, presented by United Way of Lynn, Benton, and Lincoln counties, and Kalapua Brewing. Fans stomping their feet and into it. The strike 2 pitch to Jace Phelan just misses. The fans who were willing Neil Feist to throw strike 3, giving Tim Montoya a little bit of their leathered lungs. 1-2, 2 down. The pitch to Phelan just outside. Ball 2, 2-2. Jace, I like his approach. Gets deep into counts. Good hitter. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 out. A 5-4 Knights lead in the 8th. Neal again trying to end the inning. Delivers 2-2. Fastball foul back. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zach Blazak, a 2-out single. He's at third. Spencer Shipman, a base hit. He's at first. The 2-2 pitch to Phelan. Pulled foul in front of his own dugout. The count remains 2-2 to Jace Phelan. Blake Baltz, the on-deck hitter. The fans really into it here tonight. Clapping their hands, stomping their feet. The 2-2 pitch on the way, fouled at the plate. Boy, Feist thought he'd thrown his out pitch there. And Phelan did a good job to spoil it. Good-looking hitter. Another 2-2 pitch coming to the left-hand hitting Jace Phelan with the Knights leading 5-4. First and third, 2 down. Neal delivers a ground ball at the second baseman, Shamau. He throws to Ethan Hedges, and the inning is over. Neil Feist wins the battle. The Pippins leave 2 more on. They've left 11 through 8. At the end of 7.5, it remains the Knights 5 and Yakima Valley 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Knights leading Yakima Valley 5-4. Phoenix Call was at the plate when Tate Shamau was caught stealing to end the 7th. So a clean slate for Phoenix as he goes to work against Ryan Cross in the bottom of the 8th inning. 5-4 Corvallis. Phoenix swings at the first pitch and misses. 0-1 the count. Phoenix Call, Tyler Howard and Ty Yukamoto, bottom of the 8th inning. The strike one fastball on the inner half, belt high, strike two. 0-2 to Phoenix Call. An RBI double and scored a run in the second. Has walked and grounded out. Down in the count here to Cross, who's faced the minimum through two. The strike two pitch got him swinging. Again, the numbers for Cross don't add up in terms of how the young man has fared during the course of the summer. The numbers would indicate that it hasn't been a particularly good summer for him, but he has stymied the Knights here tonight. His fourth strikeout and his first pitch to Tyler Howard, a strike. 0-1 the count. 5-4 Knights, bottom of the 8th inning. 3 outs away from getting this series even. The pitch to Howard hit off the end of the bat on one hop. Blazak to his left, smothers it and throws across to get Tyler. 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. Ty Yukamoto, the batter. When the Pippins bat in the 9th, Blake Balch, Josh Hankins, and Tommy Eisenstadt, the scheduled hitters. Whether the Knights stay with Neil Feist or go to the pen to try to close it out, my guess is Branson Keel might have a chance to close it, but we can't see into the bullpen and don't know what's happening down there exactly. 2 down, nobody on. Ty Yukamoto at the plate. Cross delivers. Fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count. 5-4 Knights. Bottom of the 8th inning. 1977 in the house. The strike one pitch. Yukamoto runs up to bunt, takes the breaking ball away, and the count 1-1. They ended the skid with Billy the Kid and the Bronx They Roared. Yes, they did in 1977. The 1-1 fastball in there for a strike, and the count 1-2. Reggie hit 3 in the majestic performance in Game 6 of 77. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. The pitch to Yukamoto is stroked into right field. Base hit. Nice job by Ty. A 2-out single. And that brings to the plate J.C. Ing. On this date in baseball history, July 26, home runs, very much a part of it. Orlando Cepeda, 3 homers in an 8-3 win for the Atlanta Braves over the Cubs. Johnny Bench hit 3 straight homers against lefty Carlton on this date in 1970. The pitch on the way to J.C. Ing, just outside, ball 1, 1-0. 5-4 Knights, a 2-out single for Ty Yukamoto here in the bottom of the 8th. And one note with a bit of a local flavor to it, a little tenuous connection, but a connection nonetheless. The 1-0 pitch on the way hit foul to the left and out of play. July 26, 1933, Joe DiMaggio had his 61-game hitting streak. 61 in the Pacific Coast League. The streak began in Portland, but it ended in San Francisco at 61 games in 1933. 61. 56, that's nothing, right? 8 years later. The pitch missing in the count, 2-1. Out of the stretch comes Ryan Cross. Breaking ball outside, ball 3, 3-1. A 2-out single for Yukamoto, 3-1 to Ing. Mason Lee on deck. The Knights would love to be in a position to get one more run across. 3-1 to Ing. Yukamoto held on by Phelan. Ryan Cross's 3-1 pitch outside for ball 4. And Mason Lee with an opportunity here. An RBI double in the clutch back in the 4th. Pitching coach Landon Shire out to the mound for a conversation with his lefty Ryan Cross, who had faced the minimum through 2 and had retired the first 2 nights in the 8th. Yukamoto a base hit, J.C. Ng draws a walk, and now Mason Lee at the plate. The remarkable thing about Joe DiMaggio, hitting in 61 game hitting streak. In 1933 in the Pacific Coast League, the streak beginning at Vaughn Street in Portland and ending at Seal Stadium in San Francisco. He was 18 years of age. The amazing thing to me about that is, think about the day and age we live in now. If you had somebody at the highest level of minor league baseball hitting in 61 straight, you wouldn't even get there. Hitting 20 straight, you get called up. DiMaggio hit in 61 straight and still waited 3 more years to get to the big leagues. Didn't make his debut until 1936. Mason Lee steps in. Fastball high from Ryan Cross, ball 1. 5-4 Knights, bottom of the 8th inning. Tai Yukamoto a 2-out single. J.C. Ng drawing a walk. Mason Lee looking for another clutch hit. Pops one up foul off first. Jace Phelan has a look. This will carry into the lower grandstand below the Jack Riley concourse. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mason Lee here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tai Yukamoto at second. J.C. Ng at first. Mason Lee the hitter. Ryan, the big lefty from Long Island U, delivers a line drive, base hit to left field. Tai Yukamoto being waved around. Owen Egan's throw to the plate, and he is out at the plate. The inning is over, and the Pippins keep themselves viable and alive in the game. Owen Egan throwing out Tai Yukamoto, so the Knights will try to win it with just a 1-run lead as we go to the 9th. That's 2 outfield assists for outs at the plate in each of the first 2 games of the series. Good throw by Owen Egan. A base hit for Lee, but it does not produce a run. Yukamoto thrown out 7-2. We will have a new pitcher coming in to try to finish the Pippins off. It's just a 1-run affair, though, as we go to the top of the 9th. A 2-minute in-game pitching change break. The Knights 5 and the Pippins 4 back in 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. It is Frank Camarillo who will get the opportunity to slam the door on Yakima Valley as we go to the top of the 9th. It's 5-4 Knights. Camarillo pitching in the clutch in the Walla Walla series in the 13-inning game, making his 7th appearance, 12 2/3, 7 hits, 3 earned, 8 walks, 9 strikeouts. And the first pitch to Blake Bolts to start the 9th inning is in there for a strike from Frank. 0-1 the count. Camarillo looking for his first save as a Corvallis Knight. The strike one pitch coming from Big Frank, a little low, and the count 1-1. Camarillo reading Tyler Howard, working on the left hand, hitting Blake Bolts. And the 1-1 pitch misses for ball 2, 2-1. Camarillo, 6'4", 198. Moreno Valley, California, and competing at Andrew Checkett's great program at UC Santa Barbara. The 2-1 fastball, foul back. The count 2-2 to Bolts, who has walked twice, grounded to first, and flied to center. Blake Bolts, Josh Hankins, and Tommy Eisenstadt, the scheduled hitters, against Frank Camarillo here in the top of the 9th inning, 5-4 Corvallis. The 2-2 changeup just missed. And the count goes full to 3-2. These Pippins hitters have shown a strong ability to go deep in counts, see a lot of pitches. And a leadoff walk would be a tonic, certainly, for the Pippins' comeback chances. The 3-2 pitch hit high and deep to right, but playable. Sam Stem, a couple of steps in front of the warning track, makes the catch. 1 away. Bolts giving the ball a pretty good ride, but a good job by Camarillo to pitch to contact, 3-2, and get the out. Josh Hankins, the batter. Hankins, 2 for 4, singled in his first 2 at-bats, drove in a run in the 3rd. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 9th, 5-4 Knights. Camarillo to the plate. Good fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count. The series finale tomorrow night, 6:35, a 6:20 live stream airtime. Breaking ball from Frank down, and the count 1-1. Very little action in the alley tonight. I think I've referenced Urchin Alley maybe twice the whole game, but here we go, on cue. A ball hit into the alley. I just wondered about the lack of activity, but the youngsters are ready. They may have gotten a little bit stolid standing out there in the concourse with nothing going on, but they're racing after it, and one of the youngsters just got to it. The 1-2 pitch on the way from Camarillo. Fastball fouled into the netting, straight back of the plate. There's about 16 or 17 youngsters queued up, waiting for another foul ball into the alley. 1-2 the count, 1 out, top of the 9th. 5-4 Knights. Camarillo kicks, delivers a fly ball into shallow left center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Goodness gracious, the pressure, the pressure. Josh Hankins with his 3rd hit of the night. A bloop single into left center field. Tommy Eisenstadt to the plate. And the Pippins very much alive. In only one frame did Yakima Valley go out 1-2-3, and that was way back in the 1st to open the game. They put pressure on the entire night. They've left 11. Eisenstadt pops one up to shallow left field. J.C. Ing moving in, and J.C. makes the catch. 2 down. Camarillo and the Knights an out away. If Frank's able to secure the save, I would look forward to a conversation with him tomorrow night on our night's live stream. He's a young man I've not had the pleasure of visiting with yet, so hoping that it'll go well now for Frank to lead that into existence tomorrow night in the series finale. But he's dealing with a tough hitter as Camarillo in Owen Egan. Good breaking ball for a strike. 0-1 to Owen, who has struck out, walked and scored, double to right, and flied to right. The tying run at first, 2 down, top of the 9th inning, 5-4 Knights. Trying to start another winning streak here tonight. The 0-1 breaking ball in there, strike 2, 0-2 the count. The Knights are a strike away. 0-2 to Owen Egan. Backs out of the box for a moment. 2 down, a man aboard. 5-4 Knights in the ninth. Camarillo's strike 2. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Strike 3. And the Knights win it to pull the series even at a game apiece, with the finale tomorrow night, the rubber match. This was a good ball game. The Pippins kept putting on the pressure, but the Knights getting enough done offensively and pitching in the clutch down the stretch. After the 2-run home run by Jace Phelan in the 5th pulled the Pippins to within a run, the Knights just kept holding the Pippins off. Yakima Valley leaving 2 on in the 6th, 2 on in the 7th, 2 on in the 8th, 1 in the 9th, and the Knights getting enough clutch pitching and hitting along the way. Mason Lee an RBI double, an RBI for J.C. Ing. Sam Stem with a 2-run single. That was the key blow for the Knights in the 4th. Our Washington Park Advisors player of the game is pitcher Neil Feist, pitching in the clutch to help bring home the 5-4 win. For the Knights, 5 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Yakima Valley, 4 runs, 8 hits, and an error. The series finale tomorrow night in the rubber match. Hope to visit with Frank Camarillo on our pregame show. We'll be on the air at 6:20 with a 6:35 first pitch. And now for Thomas Rudolph, I had the pleasure of working with tonight. Casey Lavin, Andrew Henderson, and the entire crew. This is Mike Parker thanking you for joining us. Camden Robinson, 11-year-old out of Albany, came to his first night's game tonight with his mom and dad and his sister Reese. Great to have the Robinsons in the house, and wonderful to have 1,977 in the ballpark on this Wednesday night. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night, 6:20. Again, our final score, the Knights 5 and Yakima Valley 4. See you tomorrow night on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. So long, everybody.